Hey there, it's the Machine of Nonsense, and we've reached the end of the year. That's right, it's time to get naughty. I'm gonna make that joke a bunch. It's the Nonsense of the Year Awards, everyone. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hello, hello.
And Michael, are you ready to get naughty?
Naughty, naughty, we like to potty. Let's do it. Come on.
Oh.
Tomas, are you joining the naughty potty? Potty.
The naughty potty.
The naughty
Don't
potty.
break the seal. You're going to spend a lot of time in the naughty potty.
I'm naughty by nature. There we go. There's my fun.
Nice.
There we go.
That's good. It's good.
Oh, so we are counting down all of our favorite stuff from 2021. We're going to have 2 episodes. Tonight is the first of 2 episodes. We are covering our biggest disappointments, the best characters, and the best moments from 2021 in all of the things that we loved, all the video games, TV shows, and movies that we watched and enjoyed playing. Boy, 2021 was quite the year. It is actually New Year's Eve 2021 as we do this recording, so we are saying goodbye to 2021.
And
Mike.
hello to the new year. Cheers.
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 Mike, 2021 for you, just overall in terms of all the things that, you saw, you played, how was it?
Overall grade, B+. I think
B+?
I think one faction of the triumvirate of those 3 things, kind of really carried some weight throughout the year, compared to some of the others. So, excited to get into that. I want to talk about this stuff, all the stuff we've, been talking about, and some stuff we've been holding to the chest, for this moment. I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. Kayla, how about you? Mike is on a B+ for 2021. What you got?
I haven't thought about a grade for the overall year yet, but I wouldn't give it a plus. I'll give it a solid B.
Ooh,
plus.
okay.
I like it.
Say that's kind of where I was leaning as well, like a solid B. There were some, we're going to get into the disappointments, but there were a couple kind of larger ones in there. And we felt there were a lot of issues, getting stuff out, this year. We had delays, we had a lot of stuff like that. And, it could have been a better year, but it shapes up for 2022 to be a little, that much better with all the delays and everything else. Tomas, how about you?
Overall, God, TV did a lot of heavy lifting this year.
Bingo.
It was benching. It didn't miss leg day a single week out of the year. I think B's a pretty solid, 3.0 grade average. Missed a couple classes here and there, but overall, not too bad.
I dig
Yeah.
it.
Well, I feel like there's quite a bit of stuff. There's quite a bit.
There's a metric fuck ton of shit
there
that
is.
came out this year.
I write down everything that we watch and everything that we play.
Oh.
I have lists.
I have a
And so-
resolution
Whoa.
next year to do exactly that. That's impressive.
I'm gonna take better notes
That's a good one.
next year. I just have their names down. I'm gonna maybe add a little something next to it every time, because looking back now, trying to make this list, I
was
felt
hard.
kind of like, oh, I remember those things, but they were good. Were they great? Were they? Let's find
This
out.
year,
Let's
this
find
year
out.
felt like it was 3 years long. Looking back at some of the stuff, this was.
That's
a
what I
slow
was gonna
burn.
say. There's a couple things on my various lists that I made that go back way to the beginning of the year, and I had to just kind of was that this
Yeah,
year?
was that 2021?
I
Yeah.
did Google on a couple things.
Yeah.
Earlier in the
Yeah.
podcast, I mentioned The Boys. That The Boys came out this year, and that is incorrect. It did not. Nothing of The Boys came out this year.
I mixed up seasons of shows too. So
We'll get to that. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So a note that I want to make on these 2 episodes with the Nonsense of the Year awards. We're going to the naughties. Yes, we're gonna keep it real naughty and do complete spoilers. This is to properly have this discussion of our favorite moments, characters, actions that they did, things of that nature, reasons why things were disappointing, reasons why things were the best video game we played. You kind of got to lay all the cards on the table. So we're gonna have full spoilers. So, we can usually preface any particular thing that we're going to talk about. Just skip ahead if you don't want to hear about, a particular moment or something like that.
Just skip the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep hitting plus 30 and you're going to get to the end eventually.
And on social media, we will definitely have some highlights. So you can just check that out.
Yes, indeed. So, yeah, full spoilers ahead. Be warned. Everyone ready?
Yeah,
Ready.
Let's
do
go.
it.
I won't do a full
time.
10-1 countdown for the new year, but you know what happens tonight.
All right. So, our first category in the naughties is biggest disappointment. So how we are going to do this is we're just going to go around the room, around the horn here, and each list a top 5 contenders for us. Things that really, were big disappointments for each of us. We're going to do this with every category that we go along. So that'll create a long list. And from that long list, we're going to try to come to some kind of consensus as far as like a group consensus for the machine of nonsense. Of course, we haven't all seen and played everything that, the group has. So we're going to have some fun with it, see who's the most passionate about a choice.
Yeah.
And we're going to weight things a little bit more heavy towards if there's consensus. If me and Mike both felt the same way about something, maybe it's going to have a little more weight and definitely make the top 5, something like that. Ryan, who could not be here with us today, also submitted a list that I'm going to read off to actually start us off, and then we can go from there. So Ryan's list of biggest disappointments, top 5, he didn't tell me what the order was, so I'm going to say his number 5 biggest disappointment was E3 2021. So wasn't a fan of the reveals, wasn't a fan of, what we got there.
Solid one.
And yeah, we talked about it on this
Mega.
very pod. It was kind of a rough year for a lot of reasons. And we've had big discussions about how, E3 might be on the down, on the outside pretty soon. We'll
Get out of here.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Number 4, Thunder Force. I had to look this one up. So that's a Netflix
movie.
Yeah, it's a Netflix superhero movie with Melissa
I
McCarthy.
watched that one too.
Oh,
What's the name of
Sereno's
it?
a big fan. Octavia Spencer. No, we can't. I can't have that.
Wow. Hey,
It was okay.
Thunder Force.
She
like-
she
Oh,
watches
this is the
every
lady
Melissa McCarthy.
superheroes.
Yes.
Oh, I
Oh.
can't believe that came and went totally off my radar.
I'll
I
say
thought it
that
looked
there
cute
were
enough.
harder-
Yeah.
There were definitely harder things to watch this year. So
I am always down for like a lighthearted, goofy thing. Not
Melissa
super
McCarthy
goofy, but
releases
like
one a month. She comes out with a movie a month.
that's true.
And
and
they're
they're
all
consistent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the kind of she had was last year that AI, it's some kind of AI movie.
yes, we watched
Jay
that Central
Corden.
Intelligence or
Cent-
something like
Yeah,
that.
super intelligence or something like that. And
Yes.
the rom-com
Josh-
parts of that movie are really good with her and Homeboy
Agreed.
from Nine Perfect Strangers
Carnival.
is
Ooh.
very
Bobby
good.
Cannavale. Yeah, Bobby
Yeah.
Cannavale. Yeah.
There we go. That's his name.
I like him. I
Carnival.
like them together a lot.
Yes.
I enjoy seeing them together on screen. I enjoy seeing her and her husband on screen together too. Melissa McCarthy is who we're talking
All right.
about, right?
I believe
Top
he
5
directed
Melissa
Thunder
McCarthy
Force.
movies. Go.
No.
She's got
All
some
right.
shining stars in there. She really does. Even though, yeah. I'll
I can
check
get
out
5
Thunder
good
Force.
ones. I can get
Man, so Thunder Force, sorry Ryan, probably off the long list pretty quick.
No, get it out of it. No.
I'll watch it.
All right, number 3, Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Mhm.
Kayla and I both checked this one out. Well, it's not a huge disappointment for me. I think it like did what it was trying to do. It's a snappy movie. It's real quick. A lot happens in a little bit of time, maybe too much, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. The after credits was my favorite part of that movie, though.
There you go.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I was a huge fan of the Maximum Carnage comic book series in the early 90s. So I kind of avoid these movies, especially when it seems like they're shoehorned, trying to like shove in all the things that everybody wants from that era. So
It's tough because Tom Hardy is very enjoyable as Venom.
Yeah.
The first one was great. It was
I heard
very
the first one was
solid,
good. Yeah.
very fun.
The second one's worse.
He was fine in it, but unfortunately, personally, I did not like Woody Harrelson being like a very goofy, vivacious.
Ooh,
Oh,
that hair.
He
Hey.
just while it worked in like half of what they were doing, his like very oh I kind of want to use the term flamboyant. Like he was very I don't
Oh,
know, it's
so,
just
okay.
weird watching
Extra.
Woody Harrelson be that
So
person.
I'm looking up that Woody Harrelson plays Cletus Cassidy,
he does.
and in the comics, Cletus Cassidy is literally just an insane asylum like
Yeah.
person.
He was very
He's-
good at that part. He was very good at
He's
that part.
insane, and he's extremely insane. So,
Yes.
which is why
Woody
he's so
Harrelson
dangerous.
was great at that part, but he was
Yeah.
also very like stylish and had to have his jewelry and his hair and his fit and his car, and it was just weird.
He like
Yeah.
bites Tom Hardy, right? That's how he like gets the symbiote.
Right,
From
right,
It's symbiote,
right.
Yeah. Overall, I think they were trying to do too much in that movie for like it's like an hour and a half runtime. It's real snappy. It's like under an
Oh,
hour and a half,
geez,
maybe.
really?
Yeah, it's like quick. It's real quick, and they're just trying to do a lot. Like introduced Carnage. Carnage has like a love angle to it. There's a like a tragic love story with him and stuff. And then you got also Eddie and the symbiote like having marital problems basically. Like they kind of go through therapy in the movie
Oh,
in a
jeez.
sense. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot of different stuff to fit in like kind of a small
Yeah.
contained universe, it's not the MCU like that.
That's what always throws me off with that kind of shit. It's like I don't know, man. Just if MCU could just like consolidate like all those bastard children of like the Sony era, it's like come home, guys. We'll take care of you.
Do we
I
need
feel a little bit
Venom?
more safe with it.
Like, do we
Huh?
need Venom and Carnage like in the fold?
I mean-
like, I don't know.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I'd be happier if they just like axed it altogether too. That way, we don't even have to have it anywhere in the forefront of our thoughts. But
But I do think Tom Hardy is the best Venom. He does it so it is truly joyful for me to watch Tom Hardy be Venom. That's a
I
lot
feel
of
like
Tom
fun.
Hardy in the MCU. Yeah, I think that's what I
It's
want.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
my favorite kind
I
of
don't
Tom
know.
Hardy is when he doesn't talk much. Fury Road. So
It's not bad. He's very he grunts very
Strap him.
well. I enjoy it.
strap him to the front of a car, drive for like an hour, got him all day, baby.
He doesn't talk too much in Venom. He's very confused a lot of times because his mind is talking to him.
That's pretty
well,
accurate, though.
Well, Venom maybe stays in the sense that Thunder Force is not staying on this long list. Number 2, Star Wars Visions, and I don't know. That's gonna probably be a
No,
no
dude.
for me on that one. I kind of dug Star Wars Visions. It
There's
was
too much Star Wars shit in general this year.
That first
Forgettable.
episode alone is so awesome. Like, I don't know. Did you?
I enjoy it for its art, but it's not something
looks
that
really
I'm very
cool.
connected to.
From what I saw, there was multiple ones. Like, oh, I would watch a series in this style with these characters following this arc. I thought it was cool. I know he was kind of pessimistic about it from the jump,
From the rip.
and it was he didn't like enjoy the animation. I thought everything I saw looked very good. So
It looks really cool.
Yeah, some of it was better than others as far as like the animation stuff, and even just like episode to episode, some of it was
They were
better
so
than
different.
others. I wonder. I felt like it got no buzz whatsoever.
Mhm.
I didn't see it much on
Kinda went a
social
little bit.
media.
My
I
first
didn't-
time hearing about it. So-
Yeah, it seemed like it had some like going into it. They were kind of pushing it. I saw a lot of ads and stuff like that, but I felt like it did kind of go out with a whimper a little bit. So maybe that's just disappointing that it has no like
I
staying
kind of
power.
feel like if it was made for anime fans, they kind of had their nose up to it the whole time. I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
You're probably
Yeah.
right. I mean, Ryan's the biggest among us, as far as anime, and
And again,
if
certain anime fans are writing a petition to bring back Cowboy Bebop, though. So
I'd sign that shit.
well, you know what,
I
Tomas?
really like that. I don't know.
Thank you for segueing nicely into the number one disappointment for Ryan, the Cowboy Bebop live action TV
he didn't
show.
like it a lot, apparently.
Man, Ryan, that's not staying on the disappointment list. I enjoyed it, but I have no reference to compare it to. But I enjoyed it.
that's why.
I was going to actually put
Never
the fact that it was canceled. I was actually going to maybe have that on one of my biggest disappointments.
Oh, if I had watched that whole
Ooh.
show, like hoping for more, and I'd have been so pissed off that I wasted my fucking
Oh
time
yeah.
watching.
Right. So it's disappointing
ya.
because like it's not spoilers for my TV list, but it's not one of like my favorite things of this year or anything. But thought it was fine. But
I dug it, man. All they need is 2 seasons. Like seriously, the anime that
It
it's
is.
based off of is just 2
It is
seasons.
a short anime. Yeah.
Just do one
Yeah.
more season. How much you got to lose? It's not like just wrap it up, be done with it. Cool.
It ain't being backed by the mouse. They don't got that kind of
I'm
money.
signing that petition.
yeah, I thought it was just a fun, like, with not having a background in Cowboy Bebop, only having seen a couple episodes myself. I just thought it's a cool world that they exist in, like the retro tech thing that they do, where like things look somewhat futuristic, but also there's a lot of like analog stuff. Really kind of dug that whole
Did
aesthetic.
it look expensive?
No, I mean
Not really.
it is very creative in the stuff that they do. Like it's not what you would see in other stuff. This stuff is seems pretty original to my eye, but not like there's not a lot of like CGI in it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that they stayed away from CGI a lot. A lot seemed to be like practical effects and practical like sets and stuff like that. And I kind of
Yeah.
dug that. I thought it looked, if not expensive, it looked very like put together. Like the sets were cool. They felt like unique. Like that version of the world, that version of the future or whatever.
I would have definitely been very happy if there was one more season to wrap stuff up.
It has like a super interesting tone where I think maybe anime people are some were disappointed because like it almost seems like it's making fun of anime a little bit, like how melodramatic anime can kind of be. The tone of Cowboy Bebop at points was very like outlandish and like melodramatic and everything else.
Based off of an anime,
how
you
it
can't
is.
get around those things. Like
Yeah, they
True.
just didn't play it straight. They played it like like they were trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, this is an anime brought to live action, and it was hit or miss. Oh, like some of that landed, some of that was kind of cringe, but
I've watched on Netflix, little clips play. Like once we're done with live action Cowboy Bebop, the anime action little trailer clip will play. And in the 2 minutes of that trailer, I definitely like the live action more than I like the over the top kind of awkward anime that I get, which will be weird when we get to our lists. But I enjoyed Cowboy Bebop. I'm disappointed it's canceled.
Fight me.
there we go.
That was Ryan's 5.
That was Ryan's 5.
Okay.
So
Jake.
who wants to jump in next? Oh, that's right. That was me. I do. Let's do
what?
it.
Oh, no.
All right.
I think I at least have one of Eric's.
My 5 disappointments. GTA Trilogy Remaster.
Boom, first one.
Wonderful.
I also have it.
It's
What?
well, that's going on the list, isn't it? I don't think about Grand Theft Auto very often. It's not like a series that I play anymore, but I do have a lot of fondness for like Vice City, especially, and GTA 3. And as there was like this stealth announcement, it was kind of leaked. Oh my God, this is probably coming out. Then they actually came and said, like, yes, it's confirmed, it's coming out. We did all this work. Here's some cool like vibe kind of videos and stuff like that. We're you can get all 3 of these remastered, and they came out and they were buggy, they were bad, they became memes with how
really buggy.
like the animation.
Good memes coming out.
Yeah, it was just a laughing
Not a good idea to
stock.
keep making that shit. It's not.
And I think, and I even jumped into San Andreas, and while I didn't like run into any bugs or anything else, I just kind of realized that, man, I can't recapture that feeling that was there. And I think more than anything, I think a lot of people ran into that same thing. Like they jumped in, and whether they got bugs or didn't like the new art style or not, I think a lot of it was like, these games may not be good anymore kind of situation.
Ooh, even there, huh? See, I watched the episode of What Happened about that before I considered it, because my most prominent system is a Switch, which they just so happen to get none of the patches for any of the problems.
Oh,
rough.
So thankfully, I did not purchase it, but I definitely know about the travesty and the fucking the train wreck that was.
Yeah, big disappointment. So number 4 for me is Deathloop, a game I was really, really excited for. I believe IGN gave it a 10. Pretty universally, most sites, most publications have been saying that Deathloop is really great. Some of the podcasters I listened to, it was their game of the year, or at least in their, top 10s and 5s and things of that nature. And I bounced. I didn't bounce off of it because I played it to completion. Saw the ending, saw credits and everything else, but just like I left it really, really disappointed. It just like it played well. It looked really, really good. I liked the environment, but like the structure, the looping structure of it, and how the story is given to you in like little parts, and how you can be so disjointed if you die, if you loop, and start from the beginning. It just didn't work for me, and it's a big disappointment because I was really excited for Deathloop.
Not a good roguelike at all. Shooting for it. Out of the 38 trailers we saw, I always said on this podcast, like, man, this game just doesn't look fun. Like, I don't know what this game is. Like, they never tell you, and then when you play the fucking thing, it's got style, and that's really it for me. Like, you're sneaking around these worlds, and the worlds are cool at first, but then okay, I explored this city, this little small
They're
town, and I figured like, okay, I got it all. Like I don't know what I could find, and I didn't really find anything cool.
they are
And
Ooh.
punishing and unrewarding.
yeah, very
Oh, that's
unrewarding.
that's a
Um,
shame.
Spoiler. I don't know if you want us to when we have something that matches. Do you want us to agree and talk about it at the time, or do I talk
Why
about it
not?
when it's my turn?
Yeah, no,
I'll
that's
give
fine.
Deathloop's
Good
also
man.
on my list.
Yeah.
Damn,
It's
I
on the
like Eric.
bracket.
I don't listen to many
you guys are
podcasts,
excited for this
but you
game?
can see it all over on the World Wide Web. It is just everywhere. Deathloop, 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 and it's on my number one of biggest disappointments. But I want to play it myself. This is a game that I did just watch Eric play. And watching some of the clips, it seems like there's lots of options. There's lots of ways to play. Um, I am a more stealthy player myself, and Eric is a tank. He just runs in, guns blazing, doesn't give a fuck. So I
Sword and
think I
board,
might
baby.
be able to have a different playing opportunity, a situation, and run through. I don't like the looping part. That's not for me. I don't have a lot of patience in that like type of beat you down gameplay. But we get to the end, and I just was unaccept. Like it just ended to me. I felt like this whole time we're ranking up to this big reveal. Uh, and none we played it our playthrough and then got on YouTube, of course, and watched the other options of endings that you have, and like just none of them were satisfying to me.
Ooh.
Like as we're playing it, cool, it's fun, it's stylish, the art is cool, a lot of the cool stuff that happens during it, but I just story-wise expected this big thing to happen and it didn't. So,
Yeah.
I was
Kayla,
unaccepting.
Kayla, might I suggest, as someone who played stealth for a good chunk of the game, you're not really missing a fun
Ooh.
gameplay
Ooh.
experience. You shoot him in the head
Uh,
with the spiker, and that's that. I mean, that's all. That's all you
and
do.
Eric
might
did
I
not use his cool moves as often as I would like, as often as I think you could, and that could add a lot of flavor and style and enjoyment to the playthrough.
I don't know. I guess I didn't get far enough to see where the cool moves would have fit in with
Ooh.
anything that I was
It's
doing.
very high on my list of games I want to play myself.
Oh, okay.
Towards the end of the year is hard because I'm just like, we gotta play new stuff, and then beginning of new
Yeah.
year we'll play old stuff and go about.
Woof.
Yeah.
So
I
Deathloop.
Might I
I got
suggest a
Steam on
better loop?
sale, and I wish I hadn't seen this. I don't know.
You should play
Oh.
Loop Hero instead.
It's
a
the
better
worst
loop.
PS5 game I've played out of the three.
Oh, also the worst PS5 game of the year, Rami
Oof.
Malek.
Oh,
I was not a fan of Rami Malek's work this year. Big
You just
disappointment.
have him as a whole?
I do. So
fair.
just,
He
Okay.
sucks.
I'm kind of excited, or I was excited to like get to know Rami Malek. The Little Things at the beginning of the year, that was a movie I was real excited for, a movie that, like I enjoyed. But Rami Malek was just real bad in it. And then, all right, I'm really excited to see him as a Bond villain, like in the final Craig Bond, and he's just bad in that as well. And I think I don't like Rami Malek. I think he's super disappointing. Like, I don't know.
Can't act around those teeth. I think he can't get it.
He's got a large
Just
mouth.
can't do it.
You got a large
And-
mouth.
He's got too much gumption. If you know what I mean.
we
Too
we
much of
watched
that.
all the Bonds like in a quick time frame, and unfortunately, though I didn't think he was terrible, going up against Javier Bardem is just a feat. It's hard to do.
Yeah, he was just, and Mads Mikkelsen and like
Mads is good.
Christoph Waltz. Like, yeah, he's up against some heavy
you're
hitters.
right. All the motherfuckers.
but it doesn't matter. Like they all ate his lunch, you know. Like
They did.
and
That's
even
true.
like Christoph Waltz's performance wasn't even all that great, but like he just like Rami's was 5 of 5, so like just not great. So Rami, not my favorite guy.
Not a patron saint, huh?
No. My number 2 is COVID still mattering to like media, to game releases, movie releases, just everything, even like the box office and everything else. It's real sad.
It just kicked me out of my house. for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
like
God damn it.
it's just like The Last Duel completely just bombed this year, and you're gonna hear about that from me later on in these
Next.
conversations. But like,
That's because COVID, though.
just,
Ooh.
I think that's just
Spider-Man made $1 billion. Like,
yeah, but people just
people
aren't.
go to the movie.
Shang-Chi made almost 500 million, so
People still go and see Marvel stuff. Probably
Wait.
more would have gone even to those things, but I just feel like people are going to go and see Marvel stuff, but anything else, any of the other possible movies, people just aren't doing it as much. And we've also gotten so many things continued to be delayed, things we were thinking we were going to get this year, like Elden Ring, and things of that nature. Final Fantasy 16, there was just an announcement that's like lost a half a year of development time or something, so they're pushing that back, and just a lot of things. It's still constantly a thing in the news. The shortages of PS5s and things of that nature.
shortages
too.
of everything, dude. Like
Super
it affects-
disappointing.
People can't get
Affects me
PS5.
so
What?
lot.
What?
Ah,
Get out of here.
I don't even look. I'm just waiting for the Slim to come out.
We'll
and
get one day.
The
Yo, those
number
things are
one
tall as
disappointment.
fuck.
They are. Oh, it's gigantic.
Tell me.
It's big boy. It's big.
It's fucking large, bro.
Oh, so
almost as tall as my television.
So the number one top disappointment that I had this year, even bigger than COVID, 12
Yourself.
minutes. 12 minutes was a tough situation. I was so hyped going into that game. Willem Dafoe, and I thought it was going to be fantastic. Daisy Ridley and who's the Professor Xavier, that guy.
James
Which one?
James McAvoy.
I couldn't think of it either. Like, it's right there. It's split.
Awesome cast. Just really cool concept. Another cool loop game. And just
Year of loops.
the Year of Loops, and it was just bad. Just really, really bad. This was one had to YouTube to figure out. And I'm kind of sad that I did, because it's the subject matter in this game. What it ends up being is real disturbing. It's not cool. I don't even need to like go into it. But they didn't need to make a game on this particular subject, let's say. Yeah.
12 minutes is also on my list. My notes
All right.
are, and I will give you exact quotes. What was that? Is it even possible to figure out? Like, it's impossible to do it right to get the story. It's impossible. It literally
You'd
is.
be surprised. The internet's it's
Not,
filled with
I
lots
mean,
of people who
it's possible by random, but like it's really ridiculous.
Yeah, they set it up to where there's no way to really figure anything out. You're just constantly, it's just trial and error, and if you don't do the exact sequence correct,
You don't do the trial and error in the correct sequence, you won't
Yeah.
get it. So if you fuck up
People-
one time, you're done. You're not gonna get it.
people found out about the Silent Hill remake through the PT game. I think the internet is a strange place.
And
Yeah.
Full of strange
to-
people.
all the wonderful actors that you mentioned are strictly just voice actors. It's just a top-down walking simulation.
It's a point and
It's
click, a bad one. It's
bad.
Ooh,
it's the
It's
worst thing from this year. It goes 12 minutes, COVID,
Wow.
Omicron,
Wow.
whatever.
Omicron for CIA.
This thing sucks. Like
Oh,
this type of
Yeah.
game
Wow.
sucks.
I got to look
Like,
into this thing.
it's real bad. It's
Don't
real
do
bad,
it, Tomas.
guys. And I was
Take
so
our word.
excited. That's the biggest
12
part.
minutes of your 12 minutes of your life you're never getting back.
Oh, it's more than that. It's
Oh,
2 hours
no.
of
24
12
minutes,
minutes.
bro, and I ain't getting it back.
Man,
Nah,
that's false advertisement, man.
yeah.
Who's
Oh.
next, Eric?
Oh,
God.
Tomas, what you got, man?
All right. I don't think mine's gonna be as dreary as yours. Hold tight. I did not put these in order, any particular order either. And mine's a little bit more lighthearted. I've had a pretty rough week, so I shoehorned a lot of my lists. But,
Here's to that, my friend.
all right, so the first thing on my list I put was Bill O'Neill, the bad guy from Judas and the Black Messiah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
So, I went way back on some of these guys. But yeah,
Brought up
he
later.
did it. He brought up he took down our boy Fred Hampton pretty bad. It was just tragic.
Yeah, he was a punk head.
Yeah, it was. All right, second one. And I kind of joked about this on an earlier podcast, but I put down the first half of 8-Bit Christmas.
I watched that too. I watched it.
So it rounds off
We watched
pretty
it
okay.
too.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was
rounds
all right.
off. I
When
felt
when
the
they're
first half-
it's in the trailer too, it's spoiled, but just when it's like they're doing their code names over the radio, they're trying to do like
Yeah.
this big heist, and he's like, "We could change our names or whatever." And he's like, "What is it?" He's like, "I want to change mine to Millennium Falcon Super Cool," and then right on the other side just goes, "Woo!" It got me. It got me.
Some good stuff.
I
There's some
enjoyed
good
it.
There is like overall it wasn't a horrible movie. Just I felt like the beginning of it I was like rolling my eyes a lot.
Yeah.
But then like 2 weeks later I came back and I finished the second half and I was like, okay, it's not that bad.
Neil Patrick has that effect. He's a strange fella.
Oh, boy.
But just for the sheer fact that I had to put it down and then pick it back up, it made the list.
Oh, the way Christopher Nolan intended.
All right, I got the GTA trilogy remake.
Nice.
We already talked enough about that. I feel like. And I put it's a plot twist right here. So I got the first half of 8-Bit Christmas. For my fourth, I put the second half of WandaVision. So
Nice.
I can I can drive with you on that one. I'm with you. I'm with you.
And then I put down just the series MODOK because
Oh.
why?
I watched maybe 6 episodes of that.
I wanted it to be great. So I love Patton Oswalt, and I tried to power through like 3 or 4 episodes of that, and it left a really bad taste in my mouth. So
yeah, I was left the trailer. I was really high on it because I'm like, oh wow, this is gonna be really funny, like an Adult Swim top tier
that's what I
show.
thought.
And it failed, to hit that mark for me too.
And maybe I could just put myself on the list because I shouldn't have set the expectations so high. So.
Oh, I this is you can only be disappointed if you're going in with some expectation for sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
But yeah, to the best of my ability, as you guys can probably tell, my voice is a little hoarse. I've been kicked out of my house for the next 2 weeks because my roommate has COVID.
Oh gosh.
And I literally had to move like half of like my belongings to another house in the middle of the night after getting 2 COVID tests 2 days in a row. And then my
Tomas,
girlfriend
it
had
is way better to be safe. I am a big fan of just cool.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just be by myself. I don't need to be with you. Take care.
Oh.
I'm gonna hang out.
The hardest part was that I had to pay rent, and I'm losing 2 weeks
Fair.
of my house.
Fair.
So-
Fair. Fair.
Very fair. Biggest
Kayla.
disappointment.
Yeah, how about you for your biggest disappointments?
I'm gonna go into spoilers for my next one. I don't think I have a super order at all for this category. But one of my biggest disappointments was Power of the Dog.
Oh, really?
It was. I think it's worth watching. I said spoilers, but I'll try not to go into too much spoilers. It's.
Do it. We prefaced.
I feel like you think you're gonna watch Jesse Plemons do some cool shit, right? He's gonna be a great actor, right? Nah. He's just sprinkled in the beginning, and then he barely ever comes back. Same with Kirsten Dunst. She's sprinkled in. She's drunk. That's all she does. And you're like, oh, okay. Benedict Cumberbatch is gonna do something great. No, he's just an asshole. He's just an asshole.
Yes.
He might like his asshole to be played with a little bit.
Ooh,
Oh.
hey.
It gets.
We don't kink shame on this podcast.
We
so-
don't.
Oh no.
We don't. And it's a different time, of course. It takes place way back in the day. Where that's not a thing. So maybe
in the
that's what
day.
makes it so hard for me to understand the way that he acts. But it's just like if that's the story you wanted to say, then go with it. There's like other stuff. It's never like fully approached. It just is there. Everything else is there. None of it works. I don't understand.
I was gonna make time for this one.
And I
Before our
know
next
that,
vote.
and I think you should, and that's why I don't want to go into full spoilers about it.
Oh, I don't mind. I started it. I watched maybe the first half hour.
And he's an ass. He's a straight up asshole, right? He's uncomfortable. It's gross. It's disgusting. I want to walk away from him. You're like, yes, brother Jesse Plemons, leave that motherfucker. Who cares about the old lady and the old man? I don't give a fuck. You clearly aren't trying to raise cattle. He is.
It's
But then he
Power
takes
of the
like a
Flawed, huh?
fucking
Wow.
180 is a full turnaround, right? Whatever. He about faced. He totally changes into a totally different person for something that nobody else knows but these two people that isn't exactly even that clear. And nobody questions it. It's just no. Just was not for me.
Oh, this movie fucked with you, huh?
I would say that this movie, like, I get exactly what Kayla's saying. It's really long, and it's basically a 2+ hours of just Benedict Cumberbatch being the worst human possible in like multiple ways, like just outward ways and also very like inward ways. And he does it well, but it's just a hard watch. It's just
And
a hard watch.
He just changes on a dime for something that happens to nobody else's eyes. He just fucking flips. And it's all cool.
It's a weird turn. Yeah, it's an odd turn. You have to really like I think take some leaps
It's
of
weirdly sensual. It's weird.
Yeah, I've heard it's like not really a western more than it is an erotic thriller.
Whoa.
Yeah, and there's
I
some
wish
like
it was. I
Oh.
wish it was. It has that story, but it doesn't give you that environment.
yeah, it just keeps you constantly kind of uncomfortable, and you know when you
Ooh,
want to be like
that.
when you want to understand what's going on, when you want to like maybe get to enjoy some aspect of these characters, and it just kind of
I mean, if he went out to make me hate him, he did that job. I think he did a fine job acting,
I mean,
but
it's
it
just
was
a good
not
actor. Yeah.
it was not a movie for me.
Yeah.
All right,
What's
so this
next?
is my list. Next, I have What If next on my list.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Mm,
I felt
can't
What if
consider.
was it was fun to watch. It was nothing serious. It was just these weird little stories. Oh, but then all of a sudden it's like the most important thing to move forward in the MCU, and you can't do that. If literally moving forward, this key fucking part is in a show on Disney Plus that nobody fucking watched.
I
At
watched
the
it.
very end, after getting like low scores of their episodes, like even I would think all of our gradings and scoring would be low. It would be 6s, 7s, whereas we've had conversations about Loki and WandaVision and they're 8s, and Falcon, they're 8s, they're 7s. These are 5s and
And
You're
6s.
Falcon, baby.
And that's the story that continues the MCU. Like, I have barely talked to anybody that has seen What If. Nobody's seen What If. And
Do we-
that's what pushes the story forward.
So let's
I
spoil
just-
some what if. So we're talking about Strange Supreme.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Dark Strange Supreme.
Arc.
I think I don't think that he's going to be like just plopped into multiverse. I don't think this version in What If is like. I don't think you have to watch What If to know.
Yeah, they'll
Any-
figure
But
out a way.
if
to-
you watched No Way Home and if you stayed for the after credits, it's the after credit scene.
Sure.
You wouldn't.
I don't think. I don't feel that way about What If like that.
I think
It's
it was
required
enjoyable to
viewing
watch.
for MCU.
Silly little side stories. Fun. I'm into a more happy, lighthearted cinema and situations and stuff like that. I'm interested. I enjoyed the what if they're zombies and now that's going to happen in the DC universe. But what if? It's cool.
I mean, so is it the fact that like it matters now? Like they can't
Yes.
stay away
Yes.
from themselves where like they could have had a show that just didn't matter whatsoever to the
Yeah,
MCU,
standalone.
but
To
this
me,
did
that is
not.
just like the tiniest little breadcrumb that only some people are going to watch. It's not WandaVision. It's not Loki. It's not Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I feel like get more attention than
Falcon.
What If. And maybe it's because it's animated that it had that effect to people didn't want to watch it so much. But just the fact that it wasn't the popularest, the episodes were not that great, and it is the one that is like carrying the story forward.
Feel ya.
No, I don't like that.
Well,
Next on my list.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. No, we don't need to. We don't need to.
Next on my list is 12 minutes. We've already discussed that.
Yeah.
And I have The Medium next.
Oh, yeah.
Super pumped for it
Ooh,
to come
I was
out.
wondering who was
Totally
gonna
fell
put
off
that.
very earlier. It came out like in January of 2021.
Yeah.
Just was short. The story was The gameplay was It just I needed more control in my life out of it, and it didn't give it to me. Number 1, I have Deathloop, which I've already discussed my thoughts on that.
Man, death poop.
Oh, well,
Deathloop.
got some locked in ones already, I think.
Death poop.
Mike, what do you got?
All right. I'm gonna start us off with. I really enjoyed Dune overall. Denis Villeneuve's Dune. But the stuff I really liked was the really weird stuff, like the weird goopy spider and the dude coming out of the goop, and basically just
The
anything
goopy
involving goop. Okay.
Movie's called Dune, not Goop, bro.
And just like these weird dudes talking in weird polka dot man's in this movie, and he just the way he says Duncan, Idaho, and he's like, their armies are good. They were trained by the great Duncan, Idaho. And he takes it so seriously, and it's so good. I want more of that, and less of Chalamet, kind of just being Hayden Christensen from Star Wars in this movie, kind of in a way. So I just want more of the stuff I like from the Dune sequel. I want it to be weirder. My next one is in my notes. I just have Shang-Chi no kissy. They do not.
They didn't. They played it off. They hug.
What the fuck? And I feel like that is a slight against my girl Aquafina. I was so pissed off for her.
Yo, dude.
She's not Gwyneth Paltrow. She's not Lupita Nyong'o or one of these gorgeous women in the MCU. But
She's
man,
a ride or die, though.
Zendaya.
Like,
She
why?
packed up everything to go fight some crazy Chinese ninja guys with this dude.
And
Yeah,
she has
the Bookies, man. Come on, they were fighting.
no
Dude.
secret power. I would like to say I felt this was the year of Aquafina. There are multiple appearances by Aquafina this year.
Right, and she
Fucking-
should have got some tongue action from my dude
Fuck yeah.
Simon Liu.
Simon
Okay,
Liu,
At
man.
least some groping. I'm into
something. Come
some
on,
touchy
that
feely.
was some
Something better,
bullshit.
something
Come
better
on,
than an arm around her and a hug. Like, come on.
Yeah.
man.
The whole entire time I'm watching that movie with my girlfriend, we're like, when are they gonna fucking, jump each other's bones? It's like,
Give
it's
me
like,
it.
come on.
Give me the sexual tension.
It's like,
But anyway, Chunky no kissy.
Aquafina
you know,
is a joy because she makes me laugh. Right?
I'm changing
She
my.
just
I'm
makes
changing.
you laugh.
right.
There are
Funny
people
girls
later
need
on
love
in my
too.
list that are simply there because they make me laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Next I'll have GTA trilogy here.
Hey, same spot as mine.
Boom.
Nice.
They just didn't put any effort into it, really, and the effort that they did makes the game worse in ways. So, from just not getting all the songs for the soundtracks, changing the
such a
character
shame.
models where they just look like Elephant Man sometimes, like
Like
these weird
butt.
distortion, like
It's rough.
just the rain, like the rain being just like this static thing that comes down and makes you not be able to fucking see in San Andreas, which is the one I played out of the three. It was on Game Pass. But just seeing, like Eric said, just all the stuff that people were posting, it's just really disappointing.
Yeah.
I did not like it. Next on my list is the Switch expansion pass and the pricing of said Switch expansion pass.
But win back.
Yeah, win back is not worth $50 a year to own win back. Nintendo's putting, I get it. They want to have their online service behind a paywall, but your online service is butt. You don't have voice chat, local voice chat, within your shit. You haven't.
Biggest problem.
You're
Not enough
you're
Super
also
Nintendo.
offering Super Nintendo and Nintendo games. You haven't made the deal to get Mario RPG on your shit. You have Earthbound, and you
know-
don't have to make a deal for it. It's put it on your shit. You're gonna dull out one N64 game a month now, and some shitty fucking Genesis games.
I just don't get it. Did they
yeah.
like lose everything that they had? What was the system like the Wii?
Oh, right. The Wii Shop channel
Yeah.
they had
Like-
Turbo Graphics games for sale on there, and they did, you could buy Genesis games. They had any Super Nintendo game
Yeah.
that worth
Like,
its
what
weight
happened?
was on.
Why can't they just dump that again? Micah,
I mean,
I'm
you got to
gonna
make
start being
you
honest.
have to make those deals all over. You got to do the work for that. I would assume,
Well,
especially
I
on
mean, at
the
least
Sega end of it. But
yeah, but I mean, at least their shit, It's like,
right,
well, hold on. I
it's
got
baffling to me.
I got my Switch open, and I think I've made this point on one of our podcasts before. Like the last 4 games that got released for this were like Super Blob Boy, like
Classic.
Playmates
Clay-
and shit like
Playmates.
that. Yeah, like
yeah, it's like it's
real
doo-doo.
some Titus LJN fucking
Not even,
Calico
bro.
fucking shit. Like I don't want that.
Psycho Dream. Fucking these are
So
like the ones you would only rent these, and then you would rent them once.
yeah, you'd be
and
so upset within 10
it'd be
minutes
the
of getting
most
home from the
upset.
video
And
store.
if this was the only game I got that weekend, my
Yeah.
weekend was ruined, bro.
Right. Right. Bram Stoker's Dracula level of
Oh yeah,
disappointment.
Holy smokes.
nice shout out, bro.
So yeah,
Good call.
Nintendo, do it better. Give us fucking Game Boy games. Give us all the old shit. Give us the stuff. Anyway, my last one is I can't see fucking Licorice Pizza. I wasn't able to see French Dispatch. I want to be able to watch these movies from my home. having HBO Max, having so many great movies this year, day and date with release, was so awesome. And I do not want to go back from that. 2022 is going to be very tough because that's not going to happen again. And I want to just be able to pay $20, $30. Okay, I'll do it. I want to fucking see this shit. Like I don't.
I
it's
love watching shit
ridiculous.
in the comfort of my own home. That was
Definitely
the best
movies
thing to
like
come out of
that.
COVID.
Like, whatever, Christopher Nolan can make his argument that his movies have to be seen on a big screen. But most are not Christopher Nolan movies.
I could make the argument that he could
Licorice
suck my
Pizza
dick.
is
I watched
not
Dune in the comfort of my home, and it was still great visually. I still really
right.
like it.
I should have the option.
The
at the
goop.
very
It
least.
just looks so good on my screen.
Good
The
goop. Good goop.
The goop. Get goop.
You should have the option. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Buckle in if you want to see Licorice Pizza. Make sure you got some hours.
Hey.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
All right, so we got a 21 entry long list at this point, guys. I think there's some that we can probably get off pretty quick. I have
You can drop off like my list.
I have a quick 5 that I think stood out to me, and then we can kind of discuss from there. So I think GTA Trilogy Remaster
It's on there.
right away, boom! Like everyone.
3 of
hated
you.
that one.
Yeah.
All but me,
Get
and
that
it's
bad boy in there.
already known that I have no interest in anything.
Oh yeah,
GTA.
Kayla hates GTA, so
I
perfect.
do.
Let's go.
Put it on the
So weird
list.
to me. We got to
Yeah.
talk about that someday.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
you don't
urban
have any-
Uncharted, and you should just really like it.
Just Urban Uncharted. That's the best sales pitch I ever heard in my life.
Oh.
Can see that that's the thing, but my only experience with it has been not fun. They're not. When people are like, "Hey, check out what I can do with GTA," it's not shit I want to do. So
All right.
I was with the wrong crowd.
GTA Remaster locked in on the list. I thought that one would go over pretty easy. I also
Yeah, that
think
was pretty good.
Deathloop probably. I think we got
You guys shit on that game.
yeah, that
I'm
one.
sorry you guys you wanted to play that. I'm sorry. It's a bummer.
I think 12 Minutes falls under the same kind of category. Another one that I was real excited for. I think Kayla was real excited for, and universally, at least 3 of us here just.
I wanted to play it. I was hoping that it was very good. Yeah,
It was
I could
not.
see it being on the list for sure.
So I think also maybe on the bubble here, the second half of WandaVision. I would kind of concur with Tomas on that one. We could have that discussion, and then
Yeah,
Shang-Chi
on
No
that
Kissy. I mean,
I'm down.
kind
I'll die on that hill with you, Mike.
Bullshit, man.
of pretty bullshit. So okay, let's
I'm
discuss
so
the
glad I
second.
watched that movie like 2 days ago.
Yeah, me too.
So let's maybe pencil in those 4, but second half of WandaVision, did we all feel the same way? I felt the same as you, Tomas, that it was building towards a lot of really cool stuff. I liked the style they were going for with all the decades in the first half, and then it turned into a lot of just CGI big battle stuff.
I enjoyed the reveals that happened in the second half. I enjoyed piecing some of that mystery together.
was just
The
some
lighter
stuff that
stuff,
felt
of
rushed.
course. It wasn't as good as the first half, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I still think
think
that's
a
a
lot
better
of-
show than What If. Even the
Okay.
I
second
think a
half.
lot of it's got to
I think
do
it's
with
better than what
they had to switch the release orders though too. The shows. As
That
well.
and Winter Soldier. That one and Winter Soldier. Yeah.
I think
Yeah, Winter Falcon.
the Agent and the Kat Dennings stuff, the second half is really good. Vision against Vision, horse thing.
That part was cool. The philosophical
Okay,
thing or whatever.
debate.
Okay, so
I
I
love
would say
Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn being a spooky witch villain.
The Agatha part is where it fell apart. Like I don't know.
You
That
do
didn't
you
work
not
for
want
me
to
at
see
all.
any more Agatha?
No.
Hmm.
Agatha.
I will never forget Mike's take on that stupid car that they try to drive through the wall.
Oh god.
Oh, that was
so
that was dumb.
stupid. Oh my god.
Okay.
There's good parts in it, but there's real bad parts in it. But I still think it's better than What If.
Oh, well, let's have that conversation maybe.
right.
What
Well,
did
I'm out of that
oh.
one. Let's just say I took time to watch WandaVision. I did not take time to watch What If.
Okay,
So
okay.
there's my point. You can spoil whatever you want. I don't care. MCU for me. I saw Endgame without seeing like the previous like 4 movies, and I still enjoyed it very thoroughly. So,
Wow. Mike, what did you think of What If? Because I actually kind of dug it myself.
It finished
But
really strong for me.
Finished
I,
really strong. I agree.
when they do tie it all in, because there's some weak ones in there, and I think
Right.
having the weak ones matter. Having it all tie in and making it, an actual show, having a wink, a little wink, like we fooled you, was pretty good. That stuff, like uh, Infinity fucking Vision was very cool.
It's like the total opposite. The beginning of What If is bad and the end is great.
Yeah.
The beginning of WandaVision is good and the end is not great.
Well, there's some beginning what ifs that I really liked. I didn't really like the murder mystery one where it wound up being like Hank Pym.
Yeah, I didn't like
Killing
that either.
Always
everybody.
think them.
I didn't really care for the if T'Challa was abducted by the Al Ruckers or whatever they're called.
Created unsettling feelings. Yes.
Wow.
But I really liked the first episode. There's episodes in there that I really like. The zombie episode, which they're going to continue going
Oh,
with.
that's fun.
Um,
I mean, they did do a whole Marvel Zombies thing, and it was pretty interesting.
yeah, the episode's very good. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. But
Was there any Dum Dum Dugan?
I think they do reference. There was some reference to
Oh my
Dum Dum
God.
Dugan in something recently, and I thought of you, Tom. It might have been in What If, but there's been so much Marvel this year.
Yeah,
It
there
really
has.
has.
So okay, so What If? I guess I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it, Mike, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kayla obviously did not. But
I kind of
Yeah.
I like Ryan's E3
okay.
a lot
Ooh.
myself
I
because
wouldn't
I'm
argue
also
it.
like it was kind of I tried really hard to
There's a
see
credit.
the good
on
in
the
it
What
all.
If.
Like Microsoft had a decent show, but like having Sony not there and kind of taking 2 months away from it to finally talk about God of War and Horizon, like it's just a weird, disjointed kind of thing. Keeley had like a fucking month long worth of bullshit this year. The Game Awards stunk too. Listen to our pod on that if you want to hear about that. That's my nomination for the final spot.
Wow. Okay. I wouldn't
This
be
is our
opposed to
fifth spot.
E3. This would be our 5th spot if we're cool with. So I
Locked
said
in.
I felt like we were locked into GTA,
No
Deathloop,
kissy.
12 minutes, and no kissy from Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi no kissy.
Shang-Chi no
I
kissy.
like E3 there as well. I think that's a fair
I
thing.
could live with that.
Yeah, I think the fact that I can't remember really anything from E3 or like anything that's going to stick with me.
Keely hanging out at his house. That's about all I remember.
Yeah.
Looking sad. He looked sad and tired. I needed that boy to get some blood going in his system.
Because like the highlight from that was Elden Ring, right? And then we got that big gameplay dump later in the year that really kind of showed you what you want. And
Way more. Yeah.
yeah. And then he tried to come back with a weird story kind of trailer at Game Awards that such a still kind of a neutral flatline kind of thing to me. I don't know. So that's my vote.
I dig
I
it.
like it.
I dig it. I think I can live with that too. So the Naughty Awards for biggest disappointment 2021 go to E3, GTA Trilogy Remaster, Deathloop, 12 minutes, and Shang-Chi no Kissy.
Justice for Aquafina. Come on.
Yes.
Let's just disrespectful. I didn't like it.
The next category, the next naughty award for 2021 is Best Characters. I'm going to read off Ryan's first, and then we'll get to mine. Ryan at number 5 put Wanda Maximoff from WandaVision.
Mm.
Takamichi Hanagaki from Tokyo Revengers. I looked up this guy, and he's a time traveler. He actually, it's kind of ironic. The story is basically a loop. He has a 12-year time loop that he, initiates.
Lock in
So
Tamaguchi.
more looping here. Ryan's next nomination was Arakawa from Odd Taxi. This is a walrus man who may or may not actually be a walrus, who also drives a taxi. It sounds actually really, really cool. There's a twist ending, apparently. But Arakawa from Odd Taxi.
He's really Paul McCartney instead.
Yes. He is the Eggman. He is the walrus. And all of that. Number 2, Loki from, you guessed it, Loki.
Which Loki, though?
I believe Loki.
Hiddleston? Oh, okay.
I think so.
Gotcha.
I think so.
There's so many good ones.
There are several. And then Geralt of Rivia from season 2 of The Witcher was Ryan's on his list. Yeah, I would probably take Geralt right off that list. How about mine, guys?
Grunter of the year. Good.
So, I really liked in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Drax the Destroyer. I think it's a character who in the MCU is this stoic warrior who has no subtlety. He just, everything is very blunt. He doesn't understand sarcasm, things of that nature, and that leads to comedy. That is there in this video game, but then on top of that is a layer of really they examine the character. A whole level, this would be spoilers, of the game is essentially inside Drax's mind and in his psyche and things of that nature. The game delves into a lot of those type of things, and I think Drax comes out as the most he was kind of sort of one note in the movies, and it's a good note
in the movies.
But he's a lot more in the game, and I really dug Drax in the game. Willie Jack from Reservation Dogs was my number 4. My favorite character by far from a show with a bunch of really cool characters.
I love that show. It's a good show.
I just think the episode that kind of focuses on Willie Jack and everything else, where they're in the forest and they're hunting the deer. Really great episode, really powerful kind of moments in that, and the character really shined for me in that. So Willie Jack.
The characters which I feel like were more the side characters and not the 2 focal characters, I feel like they did such a better job at developing their characters in that show.
It was great. It was a big surprise for me. I know we're not doing a biggest surprises of the year, but that was one where really did it for me.
A lot of feels.
Good pick.
My next one is Bev Keane from Midnight Mass, the true villain of Midnight Mass. She's just super, super evil in the most subtle and kind of just backstabbing kind of ways. In a show about just horrors from the night and everything else, and a lot of supernatural elements. Just a human believer is kind of the by far the most evil person by my eyes. So
True nightmare.
Yeah, Bev Keane.
She does a great job.
Yeah, really dug her. Fred Hampton was my number 2 from Judas and the Black Messiah. Really just, I mean, we talked about it so much in our Judas pods early on in the year. Just really, really great performances and the speeches. And yeah, just listen to those pods to hear, us just kind of all dumbstruck by how powerful some of those scenes were. So Fred Hampton.
Fred
And-
Hampton also made my list.
Same here.
Nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
there you
Okay,
go.
well,
I was gesturing, but cat's out of the
I
bag.
can see a lot.
We did it in the first round, so I felt like I should continue doing what I did.
Yeah.
This
I'd
is
have
going to be a
to.
top 10, right? We're making a top 10.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
What?
My number one was Mayor Sheehan from Mayor of
Yo,
Easttown.
Mayor Jordan.
Mayor
Stop.
Jordan.
There's on mine.
I got Mare.
Yeah, I figured that one I probably didn't have to have on my list. I knew it was going to be well represented, but
Oh, we like a agreement.
she's my favorite character to like bar none. I mean, this year,
I couldn't leave her
she
off mine.
just she
No
was
playing the system this time.
no.
I don't know how to quit you, Mayor.
So yeah, Mayor. I mean, we had a whole pod about, we had a lot of pods on the bracket of nonsense.
She
So,
went deep.
Yeah.
She rightfully went in deep. So what did I have? Tomas go next after me last time, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, I think I was the next.
Yeah.
We got I put Fred Hampton.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, we already let that cat out
Hamster.
of the bag. I put down specifically Mayor Jordan,
Man.
and then it was a bit of a Shang-Chi kick. I put Morris from Shang-Chi. He's the little turkey dog with wings character.
Oh, I hate that thing.
I love it.
Oh, no. I know.
I want him. I'm buying a
Oh.
plushie of him.
The Ottomans with fucking wings? No.
Yeah, it does kind of look like an ottoman.
Oh, that's good.
Ryan put down Loki. He did not specify a Loki. I put down alligator Loki.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
And then my last one is from Res Dogs as well. I put down that police officer dude, Big. And I specifically wrote down shit ass right next to it.
I love it. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Kayla, you're up next.
I am up next. I have Fred Hampton. The little bit I want to say about that is you mentioned that just the actors did such a good job. Daniel Kaluuya and I can never remember the other guy's name.
Stanfield?
Jesse Plemons and
Other guy.
Lakeith Stanfield?
yes. They just did such a good job. I was so moved watching that movie. It's a movie that I would enjoy watching like once a year. It's
Wow.
historic, it's accurate, it's disturbing, it's beautiful, it's moving, Fred Hampton is just great. I have Mare next on my list.
Wow.
It's just a joy to watch like something broken heal over time, and
So good.
lots of crazy moments happen in that show, and it's just so it's heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. I struggled next. I debated on if I should even ask that I could get a tripod going for my next category. I decided to put Alucard. Truthfully, the three of them together is just fantastic. But I picked Alucard here. It was
You're
hard
pretty
because I
close.
watched Castlevania all season 1 to season 4 this year, so a lot of stuff got mixed up. I definitely had to consult Google for what happened when.
Sure.
That was the one. That was the one that I had to check.
We will go into more reasons why I chose Alucard here later on, but I just enjoy Alucard. I'll move on.
He's a pretty boy.
Next I picked Yelena Belova. Is that how you say her last name?
Yeah.
Just charming. The best part about Black Widow, if I had to wait that long just for her, I am happy that that happened. Got her twice in 1 year. She's just charming. I just enjoy what she gives me, and I want to see more of it.
I also have Yelena.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
look at that. Not
Locking
expecting
some
that
in.
Here is where I struggle, but I decided to pick Alucard. So I will go with Vi as my next one from Arcane.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, oh
Um,
shit. Oh shit.
I never played the League of Legends, so this is no
There's like 10,000
comparison
characters.
that I can make for that. But I enjoyed Vi as my gal in that show.
I do not have Vi.
I know you don't. That's why I won't go any further right this moment because we will debate, I'm sure.
Wow. Nice. I dig it.
Master debater.
Was that your last one, Kayla?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Mike, finish us off.
My 5 is Yelena Belova.
Nice.
Florence Pugh, like, give me as much of her as I can get. She was great in Black Widow. She is the best part of Hawkeye. Next up, I have Mare. Just like Kayla said so beautifully, like she was on her bracket, like she
Oh, yeah.
went she
Going
almost
deep.
she went toe to toe with the reconnaissance. So like
Tough
she
fight.
met the Rust Belt guy.
Oh
And,
man.
but she still came out. She didn't, it's like Stone Cold versus Bret Hart in that Iron Man match, all right, or whatever that was. Stone Cold didn't
On that
tap.
one, Brett
He
did the
went
heel turn though.
unconscious. Okay.
That's true.
Bear would have to be dead in order to really lose that fight.
think-
But anyway,
think that-
Bear's great.
I think that wrestling match reference has been used at least 3 times on this podcast.
And it will continue.
I love
to
it.
be. Okay.
Oh, so good.
Next up, I have Jinx. I got Jinxie from
Ooh.
Arcane. I've heard her described as the ultimate "I can fix this girl" type of girl.
Oh my god.
Type girl. Her
I would
character starts
describe her
off.
as Harley Quinn.
She is very Harley, but her damage is justified. It's not just like, oh, I talk to psychopaths all the time, so now I am one. Jinx is the damage type, but she's also a complete fucking badass. And I really enjoy Jinx.
Man.
We'll talk more about her. Next up
Pretty
from
good Pokemon.
Succession, season 3 of Succession was this year. I have Tom Wamsgams from that show. Tom starts out. He's like he's marrying into this billionaire family, and he starts out, just very like not trying to step on any toes. He's trying to always improve his stance within this family and within the company that the family owns. And this is the season of Tom for me, and another character on the show that I'll talk about in another episode. But yeah, he's excellent this year. And my number one is Father Paul, Monsignor Pruitt, from Midnight Mass. Does just a terrific evangelical type character on this show. I've kind of in my life seen a priest or someone who can whatever your feelings are on religion or whatever, just can talk and make you like and capture a room. And I think he has like that Fred Hampton kind of quality to him in this show, where him and his struggles and what he goes through in this show, and the dialogue and the words are so good in this show, and he he brings him out and makes him shine. And he was I was just taken aback. Like he knocked me on my feet, off my feet. Sorry, and back on,
Back on.
and
Did a full flip.
Holy shit.
I gooped for Pruitt. I just
Whoa.
Oh boy, Goopin. I think that's a great pick. He was on my long list. It was basically okay. I gotta have someone from Midnight Mass, Bev or Father Paul. I don't know. It was a toss up for me, and then I just picked Bev. So, definitely dig that. Now we have Loki and we have Alligator Loki. I think we all dug Loki this year, right? Just as a concept, Loki, Sylvie, all of just like that whole concept of the show. Do we want to have Loki in all of his, glorious purpose
I
forms?
think that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Loved
I can.
Hiddleston, loved Sophie on the show. Really loved
So good.
the old school Loki. I forget the actor's name. So
Yeah.
many good
He was great.
variations of the character.
Very good.
I think Loki should get on for sure.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm down for Loki.
I thought that wouldn't offend anyone. Also two others that's aren't gonna offend anyone. I think Mayor Sheehan and Fred Hampton handedly just made so many lists. So that leaves us at 3. We got Loki, we've got Mayor, we've got Fred.
Elena as well.
Yelena, we got 2. She's locked
Elena,
in.
got it. Okay, I had her bolded here.
It's only one spot.
One spot really to a lot of characters. I mean, we've got Geralt, we've got Otakawa, Takamichi, we've got Wanda, we've got Bevkeen, Willie Jack, Drax the Destroyer Morris, Shitass, Alucard, Vi and Jinx from Arcane, Tom Wansgams, and Father Paul Pruitt.
Some of those are fights from the same show.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't if Father Paul was on there, I would not be sad.
I would not either.
Was...
I would not either. I'd
Thomas, have
maybe
you seen
not put him
Midnight
as
Mass
number
yet?
1, but
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, check it out, man! I think you'll
can't weigh
really
in on
dig it.
this one yet.
How about Arcane? We got Vi and Jinx on there. I think I tended a little more towards Jinx in that story. I liked Vi,
I'll
but
not
I
be
think
comfortable with Jinx on the top list.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
She's an uncomfortable character.
She's an uncomfortable character.
What?
She is. I do not.
Uncomfortable with what?
I feel like her. She's obviously
Seeing her gives me so much anxiety. It makes me very uncomfortable. She is. And the explosive part of her is not even what worries me some, but like that daddy-daughter relationship just bothers the fuck out of me. I cannot handle watching her straddle this man and give him medicine. I cannot handle that. I'm done. I can't.
That tension, that
No.
weird like sexual tension or whatever that like happened in a couple episodes was a little weird between Jinx and Silco.
Silco.
I don't know. I didn't see that with it.
If that didn't happen, I would be more liking of Jinx, but her weird sexual tension was a big no for me.
It's just as soon as Jinx is kind of on the scene, man, she takes over the whole show. Like for me,
and I can agree with that. She's definitely an exciting part about the show. She's unhinged. She's you cannot unpredictable. That's the word I was looking for. She's unpredictable and fun, but I don't like that part.
She certainly is the most vital character. I mean, in a lot of ways to the series.
I went back and forth just trying to pick a character from Arcane because I did really enjoy it. There's a lot of really solid characters in it. Echo being one that was really high up on my list. His name's Echo, right?
Echo's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hoverboard
The
dude.
glider.
Yeah, real cool. It was between like him and Vi, long list. Hammerman made my list. He's interesting.
Cameraman.
I think his story is yet to be told.
Scientist Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's okay, so we've come to nothing on Arcane, and that's fine. How about
Nobody else had played Guardians?
No.
mm,
I
Drax
want to
is
ask,
good. Drax is fair.
does he compete with Batista's Drax? Like,
Yeah, I think he
really?
can.
Okay.
I think because the story is very centered for Drax's
Okay.
internal demons, his internal desires, which are all very relatable for all of us. Anybody who has a loved one. Drax is up there. I'm cool with Bev Keen. I'm cool with Father Paul. I guess that's a good discussion to have between Father Paul and Bev Keen. Another
yeah. On Drax, I guess the one thing I wanted to ask you, Kayla, was like out of that game, out of Guardians, was he for you your favorite character, or was there someone else who shined a little brighter than Drax?
I wish I would have thought of Drax myself. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a cloud that covers for me in Guardians. He's not a fan of Rocket, and unfortunately, sometimes like the bad overdoes it for the good. Drax is a good pull. I did really really enjoy that game, but as character wise goes, sometimes hatred is stronger than enjoyment.
I feel you. I feel you. So Father Paul, I think that was the next thing we were going to get to. Like I said, it was a toss up for me between him and Bev Keen. He's just obviously more fantastical, like I that's why I just put it down to like, yeah, Father Paul is, a vampire, and he plays it well and everything. But Bev is just a human and actually like I don't know, actually evil. Like he couldn't control himself, whereas she, just was.
For me, over Bev, Paul just you get to see the full thing. Bev just sucks the whole time, but she's very good. Like she's a very good villain to have, but just the journey that Paul takes.
There's just holes with Paul. There's holes. There's
What?
holes in that.
What
Like
hole?
his story?
Like it took a long time for him to be affected by daylight. It took a long time. And as soon as DUI guy, as soon as he turned into a vampire, he could not go into the sun. Could not. But fucking Father Paul traveled the damn world.
I don't think you see him in sunlight ever in the show.
I think you definitely do.
Mm.
Because
I
there's
thought
a
you did,
pivotal
but
point where he does turn
Very good
into
attention to
going
detail.
to private mass with his lady friend at night. There's a pivotal scene where it turns into that. There's a pivotal scene where it turns into masses at night. And it's you don't get an exact timeline of how long he's been here, but
I took it as the setting of the show really showing through there, where it's always overcast in this town. The sun is gone a lot.
that's fair.
Interesting.
Where,
Fair.
um,
Hmm.
well, if it's a hole, it's not a hole in the the character for me.
Right, yeah, it's
I
a
would
whole the plot,
sacrifice.
right?
I would sacrifice Yelena. Full stop.
Oh wow.
To
Wow.
have Father. I didn't imagine this list without having him on.
Okay, I think
Problem with having Father Paul on there. There's just a little bit of holes in his story.
okay.
Which there always are.
Well,
I don't have a problem with Father
pencil
Paul.
him in then, and I mean that would put us at 5 if we went with Father Paul. Do we feel comfortable with a list that contains Loki, Mayor, Fred Hampton, Yelena, and Father Paul Pruitt.
No, I don't.
Dig it, Kayla?
I
I
do.
don't.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm into it. I don't mind having Father Paul instead of Bev on there. So, all right, that's it. Top 5 best
Wait,
characters. What?
I thought we're gonna leave Res Dogs off too.
Oh, I mean, well, that would
Yeah.
You
be
have 2
5.
characters from Res Dogs.
I think there's better characters on Res Dogs than Yelena.
Oh, wow.
Probably.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. Even though I didn't
Yes.
have them on my list, but I felt like
That's your fault.
Yelena was gonna be needed some love, kind of thing. Like
Yelena got double dose.
she
Is that
did.
the rule?
She did.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hard rule. We gotta.
Okay.
Consult the man.
Oh, I'm just here to
I
run
don't
the
know. I
show,
think you
baby.
guys named two great characters. Probably my 2 favorite characters from Res Dogs. Both of you, Tomas and Eric.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I would be sad to not have that show represented too. But
I'm fine with going with Eric's
Represented later.
choice.
Yeah, I would say, I guess, out of those 2 characters, if we were going to do that, Willie Jack
Sure.
has just more screen time,
Screen time, yeah.
Yeah,
Big's
so that's
more of a
Pivotal
side
moments as
character.
well. Like, yes, the
Big's episode is my favorite episode.
it's a lot of fun.
I just love to talk about white man bullets. That's the
It's
main
so
reason
good.
I put him on there. It's energy drink.
okay.
It's made with energy.
Willie Jack is great, man.
Willie Jack is great.
Okay, well, I mean, okay.
The top
So
10.
if we
And here we go. Mortal Kombat's Kano at number 10.
Mortal Kombat.
That's
I
good.
had a tough time not having Kano.
Man.
Man,
forgot
I
about
would
Kano.
probably rather see Loki leave than Yelena.
Whoa, wait.
Wow.
Really?
And I say that
Okay.
Yelena is
Calm
more of a
down.
new character. A lot of the people I chose were new to me, at least.
Okay. Yeah.
Things new and seen. Loki's been around a long time. What did Loki do different this year than we have seen Loki already do? Besides
I
the
think I
scene on
was
Lamentus, which is good.
when I was first, there's gonna be when I first heard there's gonna be a Loki show. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Loki doing some side shit.
Right.
But man, Hiddleston's performance in this show is like
He
one of the
killed
best things in Marvel. I think like I
I think
don't know.
Loki, Tom
took me
Hiddleston
there.
always does a fantastic job being Loki.
But he added more to it. He brought the
had more
character
time.
around. Full.
He had less saturation around him. He
That's
was
true,
more
there was a lot less. It
his
was him.
jam. It was
Yeah.
him. It wasn't him and Thor. It wasn't him and multiple other people. Him and Mobius, him and Sylvie, which all worked very well. I like Loki. Loki's definitely up there, but for me, just seeing Yelena as a new character just really carried a lot of weight.
I feel you. Like, yeah, we've already seen Loki a lot.
I think staying power holds more weight.
All right.
Interesting.
Holds a fair amount. It does. I want to see more of Yelena. That's staying.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to see more Loki too, and he's.
I
been around
do.
for 20 years.
I am happy with the list, Tomas.
Okay, so it's basically Loki or Yelena is what we're saying. That's kind of the 2.
I don't
We
want
could
either to go, but
to get
because we've
Get
got
a Res Dogs.
yeah, so we've got Mare Sheehan locked in. We've got Fred Hampton locked in, and I think we said Willie Jack because we want Res Dogs represented this year.
I would also suggest Fred leaving, but I think
Okay.
he's a part of the full. You get more of a full year with Fred. I think he deserves to be on. I don't know.
Okay.
The full
Yeah,
breadth
yeah,
of
the year.
our journey of the pod this year.
yeah, that's
And
pretty
I
much
think
where
we-
started.
We kind of said Loki encompasses all Loki, like it's Loki as the character, you
Mhm.
know.
Probably when
So-
making that little caveat to his spot on or their spot. On
Yeah.
I
I mean, in a similar sense that like Rami Malek in multiple roles was my disappointment of the year. Like so
Yeah.
Loki in all of his forms, is a thing.
Probably the best disappointment of the year. Suggestions.
Loki was super dope. I everyone should watch it. So we want to take Loki off, keep Yelena, but have a Res Dogs character as well. That's what we're down to.
Hold on,
Yeah,
what's
so
the
if we
name?
took Loki off, our list would be Mayor Sheehan, Fred Hampton, Willie Jack, Yelena, and Father Paul Pruitt.
My vote
Do we like it?
is to leave it without Red Dogs. That's my vote. We'll leave
so
it up to a vote.
My vote's
Loki
Father.
instead as Willie instead of
The
Willie Jack?
list that was made first was Loki, Mayor, Fred, Yelena, Father Pruitt.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, swapping out Loki for Yelena in this sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
What did you think of Yelena, Tomas? Did you have any?
Oh, I didn't even watch the show, so
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
that's why I'm not inputting.
She's
Gotcha.
good. Yelena's very good, and she brings something that the MCU's kind of missed, like just an extra spark.
She does.
She's good at fighting, and she's like got this. She's kind of like Drax in a way. Like she's kind of a fish out of water. Like she doesn't really, understand American ways all the time.
You know what?
Kind of thing. And
I'll give it. We'll give it to the new blood, because after watching Shang-Chi, being pleasantly surprised with that performance, let's go with new MCU.
Okay.
So Yelena over Loki.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
So that would leave us Mayor Sheehan, Fred Hampton, Willie Jack, Yelena, and Father Paul Pruitt. Can we live with that?
Not perfect, but
I can live with that.
doable.
I don't know if we're gonna.
This is heavy on my list. That's 3 characters from my list. If that changes anyone's mind.
Yeah, but
3
I had
characters
Fred
from my
Hampton and
list.
Bear also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx,
Okay.
too. Damn it, Jinx.
I like Jinx a lot. I like Jinx. I'd probably say I prefer Jinx to Vi, but
It just didn't have like 3 scenes. I would probably agree.
Vi's really good too.
Vi to me is just like a solid girl fighter. She always tries to do the right thing. She just tries so fucking hard. And life sucks.
Yes, it
That's
does.
fine.
But she's okay. She's off the list. We'll move on.
All right. I think we feel okay about Mayor Sheehan, Fred Hampton, Willie Jack, Yelena, and Father Paul Pruitt. I think we feel okay about that, right?
I feel okay about that.
I feel more than okay. I feel good.
Okay.
There
And
you
that's
go.
what matters,
Solid B. Let's go.
The Naughties for best character go to Mayor Sheehan, Fred Hampton, Willie Jack, Yelena, and Father Paul Pruitt.
Pruitt at number 1. And I got there's just so many characters this
There's
year.
a lot.
I got to throw out a couple more.
Do
I
it.
mentioned my boy Kano. He's the one that holds that fucking Mortal Kombat movie together. Polka Dot Man, no goop required for fucking Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man was on my long list.
Love Polka Dot Man. The show White Lotus that was on HBO this year. There's a character called Armand. Armand runs the resort. A lot of crazy yelling going on.
Like, you guys were talking about that Green Knight movie a bit. I never ended up getting around to watching it, but anything from that?
Character wise, no, but it will definitely come up.
Okay.
Very soon.
Just curious.
But Armand from White Lotus, played by a New Zealand actor, terrific accent on this guy. He's just like this. I don't know. Watch White Lotus. He's very good. And the only game character I had on my short list was from Death's Door, and there's a character called the Lord of Doors
Ooh.
in that game. He kind of tricks Death into so he could get immortality, and very cool narrative in that game. Very cool character, and those are just my little honorables.
Cool.
Yeah, you had most of mine. I like Mobius from Loki. I also really liked. He
He's
was
good.
only on screen for
Mobius
very
is great.
short, but Kang the Conqueror really
Yes.
stole a
Was a
scene
fun
at
scene.
least.
Absolutely
in that
did.
one. Yeah. And everything else has been from my long list was said. So you guys we were kind of all on point on that one. I think we kind
I
of
like it.
all dug the
Hive
very
mind.
similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good. On to our final category of the night, best moments from 2021. As I've been doing, I'll start off with Ryan. So Odd Taxi's ending was one of his. I looked this up and it's super cool. So all the characters throughout the show are they're people. They're animals that look like people. Or they're people
They're
who look like
Animorphs.
animals. Yeah, they're animorphs.
Animorphs. Yes.
But it turns out the main character, this Otakawa fella, who's a walrus, is actually it's all in his head. He has like a mental dysfunction or visual dysfunction where he just like projects animals onto all people. So it's like a big twist at the end. Like everything you've been seeing is not animals. It's actually real humans. Ryan also had the end of Loki season 1. So that was the big Kang the Conqueror reveal.
Yeah.
Pretty
Great
Choice.
moment. Great moment.
pretty big moment. There's a car scene in Tokyo Revengers this year. Looked it up. Looked very sad. A car hits another car. That car hits a wall. A very pretty girl seems to die in this. So very sad. Witcher season 2. The entire season 2 was a moment for Ryan.
Incredible.
So
Kinda
your
happy
mileage may
to
vary
talk
on
about.
that one. I thought that was a little disappointing for me. Witcher season 2. And then Vision's monologue on grief was his final
Ooh.
moment in WandaVision. Real.
I think we're getting griefed here by.
Pretty damn
Bombs.
powerful moment.
It was.
Yeah.
I like it.
Pretty good. So I'll start it off with my
Give
nominations.
Give us all the happy ones, Eric.
Oh, one of these is joyous, I think. So number 5 is the elephant scene in It Takes Two. So spoilers for It Takes Two. It's essentially the child of these two parents who have been turned into little creatures, little dolls. Her favorite thing in the world is this toy elephant. They hatched this plan. They believe that making their daughter cry will allow them to return to being humans. And they destroy through a whole series of events. They purposely destroy this elephant toy. And
to try to make their daughter cry.
To try to make their daughter cry. And it's kind of real on the nose because the entire story is a divorce tale of, two parents and, their daughter not wanting them to get a divorce, them wanting to get a divorce. And it's just, it's a little on the nose, but it's, how parents can kind of hurt their kids in just really awful ways, even unintentionally. It's a super powerful scene. And it's the poor elephant is just like crying the whole time and stuff. It's a really cute little like stuffed character that you're just you're bringing to its end. So get you in the feels. The dollhouse scene in Resident Evil Village. primarily the portion where all of your gear is taken away from you and it becomes a very horrific type game up until that point, and really for the rest of the game it's a very heavy action type Resident Evil, but you're stripped of all your resources and everything else, and you're basically going down very like PT-esque dark corridors and solving
PT.
Yeah, solving a fairly like easy puzzle, but one that like forces you to go into these dark, horrific areas. With a big like jump scare of an awful baby creature as well in that scene. So
The Retus fetus.
yeah. So the dollhouse. Number 3, the joyous moment on my list. The beach from the Suicide Squad. The first like 5 minutes of that movie, basically, where Team A gets obliterated by the militia, and it's so much fun. I remember us having that conversation when that movie came out, and it's just points you in one direction, and you think, okay, this is the Suicide Squad, these are the good guys or part of the crew or whatever, and they just get wrecked, and it's just so fun. It sets the tone and the themes for like the entire movie, and it's just so fun.
He giggled the whole time. I can confirm.
I really did. Another moment that takes place on a beach. What were we arguing about in Old? Old is a movie of going to this beach and rapidly aging for some reason, and there's a couple who's middle aged as the story starts and becomes progressively very old. A couple who's going through some marital troubles. It looks like they're on the verge of a divorce and everything else. And as their faculties kind of leave them, their hearing, their memory, things of that nature, the husband kind of and the wife are sitting at this beach kind of in old age, and they've been fighting this whole movie and arguing and just going through their shit. And they just say, they have this conversation, what were we arguing about? And it just hit. It was just like, what's really important, in our relationships and our friendships, those type of things. And
it's real good.
It's a whole thing. So
It's also on my list.
yeah, it's insane. And number 1, the duel in the last duel. I didn't breathe in this scene. So this is yeah, it's the whole movie's building up to it. It's in the title. It's a very uncomfortable movie. It's an uncomfortable watch for the subject matter and everything else, why they're dueling. And at the end, at least my feeling was I didn't like any of these people, but I also didn't want to see them die, because I just watched them go through all these just awful events. And I just held my breath the whole time, and every blow. And it's Ridley Scott, so the choreography is just fantastic. And
is that what you were posting about?
Yeah. Oh, well, I was watching
Not.
Kingdom of Heaven, but
Okay.
but come on,
Eric's
it's just
Christmas present, director's cut.
I mean, like
Very
so it's cool ass movie, and that is like the highlight in my mind of the movie. So
Awesome.
The duel.
Man, good list.
What you got, Tomas?
Okay, let's go. All right. So, keeping with the trend, so I had Bill O'Neill as one of my biggest disappointments. I had Fred Hampton as one of my favorite characters, and I have I Am a Revolutionary as one of my favorite moments.
Good moment.
And then, let's see. I got down. I don't know if anybody else watched Invincible, but I put down the fight between Omni-Man and Invincible. It's like, especially the part where like he's like just him and Mark are just like trying to rationalize each other's points to one another, and Omni-Man is just beating the fuck out of him. But
Yeah. The moment where
Yeah.
he stuffs him in front of the subway train and
in
forces
front of the
him to
train.
like,
But
use his own body to murder all the people.
yes, but the
train.
part that really gets me though is like when he finally like snaps out of it and he realizes, when Mark, he tells him like all these people will be dead and you'll still be alive, and what will you have left? And then he tells him, "I'll still have you, Dad." And I was like, ooh, gut punch.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I kind of pulled a Ryan for my next one. So Ryan put down The Witcher season 2. I'm just gonna put, the fact that they put a nice little bow on the end of Castlevania, the series. They didn't ruin something that was so near and dear to my heart. They finished it. I feel like they finished strong. And they plan on continuing it, but jumping forward and stuff like that. But it was nice to see them do that so well.
Great season of that, man. That Isaac and Carmilla fight was
Yeah,
breathtaking.
yeah.
It was very good.
Yo,
Yeah.
Isaac was my dude, man.
Yeah, he came
But,
out. He was my favorite character from.
Yeah, he really
From that
shone.
What a show.
And next one I got is so I don't know if you guys have watched What We Do in the Shadows. It's Taika's like vampire TV show. But there's this episode where one of the guys, Laszlo,
I've
ends up
started
having
it.
to run,
It's real good.
he has to run away from town, and because there's another vampire that's out to try to get him for like a debt that he owed him for like however many 100 years ago. And he just runs to a town and creates a completely different identity, and he calls himself Jackie Daytona. And the key to the disguise is just he puts a toothpick in his mouth. It just
Tomas.
creates this illusion. He creates this illusion that he's this guy. He's like, I'm just a regular human bartender. And he becomes so involved in this community. Like he's like cheering on like the high school girls like volleyball team, and he's using his magic to take them to like state. It's this whole like fun little narrative. It has nothing to do with any of like the backgoing story. It's just this wonderfully done like side story with one of my favorite characters, and I love it. And then I put down for my last one. This is the Winter Falcon. I put down the Isaiah Black like story when he's talking to the Winter Falcon. He's telling his story about how he was the Black Captain America and like all the shit that he went through. It's a real gut punching, real emotionally, really well done scene. I feel like overall, they got a point across, and yeah, I really enjoyed that series too. Like looking back at a lot of these things, yeah, slam dunk.
Nice. Kayla?
I have the scene from Old on the beach with the parents on my list. It is just it
Lock
hits.
it
It's
in.
just so makes you feel in the moment. Moving forward as a new year, it just makes you wanna stop being petty about shit internally. It's a
Life
wonderful
short.
scene. Lots of weird scenes in that, but the parents growing old is definitely a solid part. Next I wanted to pick something from Mare. I picked the Zabel getting shot and girl rescue scene because that whole episode is just like a holy shit. Like
Yeah,
they were just gonna check something out and things got popping. Happened very fast.
poor
Um,
Zabel.
and like from there things just like fall apart. Even though she did what everybody wanted her to do, it was a problem.
Mhm.
So that whole episode was really really tough. Next I have the shield bash from Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's something that I knew as soon as I seen it.
It's a good one too.
This is going
I
to be on my list for the end of the year because it was just so gruesome and shocking.
The CLR
I-
moment. Need to get to
I almost put that one.
It's
for that show.
been on my list since it happened. I knew it was gonna make it.
Yeah.
For me.
Solid choice.
I guess Next, I have the ending bridge scene from Arcane. The Jinx, Vi, Echo, Caitlyn, Marcus, explosive, crazy scene.
You picked the right one, Kayla. That's a good one.
That is a good one. That is Jinx I can be down for, but
Just
yeah.
the way they mimic how they've played when they're like they keep like, okay, I'm gonna shoot at you and you're gonna dodge it and you're gonna come after me with your play sword, and but it's for real this time. And they're two different people. They haven't seen each other in so long, but and they've gone completely different paths. These two, they're not kid friends anymore. Really well done. Really visually, just amazing. The show, top to bottom, looks so good. But that scene is a looker. It's so good.
Good pick.
And I should, as I get to my last one, I should say that I have this specific category in no particular order because my next one is the rescue of Rick Flag scene in Suicide Squad. It just was hilarious
Ric Flair.
to me. No, not Ric Flair.
The daytime morning scene, where they're
Right.
like sneaking through the camp. Yeah.
Right, and they think they're killing everybody, and they're just one-upping each other back and forth. The Peacemaker and Idris Elba, I don't remember his name, but and they're just thinking they're like the badass killers. They're here to rescue their friend, and he's just like having tea, talking about what they're gonna do next, and they're like, "Oh." It was just so fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
What a movie.
Quick flash of dick in that scene.
You got it. You got it.
Little bit dick.
There you go.
A little bit dick. Oh, so good. So good. Rescue Rick Flag. Mike, what you got?
Oh, so many good moments. I'm gonna start with a scene in the Green Knight. The introduction of the Green Knight. It's Christmas Day. Our main character, Sir Gawain, is going to sit with his uncle, King Arthur, who is, the king. And so he goes, and the king is so happy to see him. He's looking very sickly and old, and he wants him to tell him a story of his of himself, and Sir Gawain says, I don't have a story to tell. I've never really, and they're like, you don't have a story to tell yet, and then it cuts to his mother, who is like, I guess the town, like, midwife or something like that for the city, and she's doing some witchy woman shit, and she's writing this letter, and it's floating in the air, and she burns it. And then the Green Knight appears through the doors, and all the men are ready with their blades. And he hands the king the letter, and his wife takes it. And the Green Knight's voice is being projected through her own. And he explains the game to them. Whatever someone, if they want to challenge me now, will have to find me in a year's time, and I will equal whatever blow they landed on me. Sir Gawain, who has not had any honor or anything in his life, up to this point, he hasn't probably never even lifted a sword. King Arthur offers him Excalibur, and you see it on his face, like, oh my God, like, I, this moment, like, this is what I've wanted, yes, give me this, and he jumps at the opportunity to fight the Green Knight, and the king tells him, uh, remember, it's only a game. And kind of through just the excitement of it all and everything, he slices the Green Knight's head off once, and he thinks, aha, like, fuck that game, I killed this dude, he's dead. Picks his head off the ground, while holding the head, explain, hey, like, all right, come find me in a year, and it just really kicks off this amazing journey throughout this movie. Visual, like just a visual delight. The Green Knight, go see it.
On the
And
list.
yeah, that's my first one. A little long winded, sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. You took me there.
Uh, Next up, I'm gonna have a moment from Spider-Man: No Way Home. So spoilers for that, but uh, in the second half of that movie, you got a bunch of Spider-Men and
Spidermans.
Andrew Garfield, like who even at the time after seeing Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like, man, he was a good fucking Spider-Man. And time and bullshit has twisted that. People think he wasn't a good Spider-Man, and he was. And he shows up in this fucking movie. He proves it. And there's a moment in where there's a big fight happening on Statue of Liberty, and Zendaya takes a fall, and he's the one who saves her. And he doesn't fucking snap her neck. He doesn't kill her like he did Gwen Stacy in his universe. And you see it on when he asks her at the, are you okay? And she's fine. And you just see it on his face that he's thought of, because in his timeline, he has lived years and years with
Yeah.
result. And he's thought about it a million times in his head. What should I have done? Should I have webbed at this part of her body? Should I have felt, she caught her at this point? And he did it and saved her. And you see it on his face, just this like, I got to exercise this demon. And it was really well done.
Pick.
Thank you.
I think the Academy Award goes to Mike.
Next, I have a scene from Squid Game. It's I think it's the final episode of the show. It's a battle royale type competition. You've got down to the final two people, and they have to play this childhood game that they've played called the Squid Game. It's a very violent Korean like version of like cricket or something. I don't know how to describe it.
King
And
of the Mountain or King of the Hill or whatever.
yeah,
Violent King of the
basically,
Hill.
yeah, but with like base running.
Yeah.
And man, there's just a moment where like the guy that he grew up with, that he's been against in this game, he thought he was like teamed with him, but when it boils down to it, are you going to make the decision you need to make to win this fucking cheddar, to win this money? And homeboy has killed the girl that was injured. She was in third place. He just finished her off. And at this point, our main character, I forget his name, but this is like his Super Saiyan moment. He's fucking locked in. He's focused. He's done with the bullshit. And he fucking pocket sands this motherfucker. Fucking just dusts his ass. And I don't know. I was like, fuck yeah. I think he kicks him in the fucking face afterwards. And he's done with this dude's bullshit. And just a really, really, really fun moment for me. I loved it.
Oh, you sold it. You sold it.
For real. I'm already putting pocket sand down on the list.
Yeah, dude, he just blind your ass. Oh, so good. My next moment is from the Beatles Get Back. It's just when Paul McCartney's he's sitting there, he's waiting. There, three of them, Paul, George, and Ringo, are waiting for John to show up from his heroin breakfast, and he's just noodling around. And next thing you know, he goes from nothing to having Get Back. The fucking melody for like the song, like it's just there, and he just creates it out of fucking nothing, and it really blew me away in the moment, because Get Back, I guess, is the end game event for Beatles fans. Like, you've liked this band your whole life, and you've been watching it or whatever, and you've been keeping up with everything, and this is where you're going to get your big moments. This is where you're going to get questions answered, and it really does it. And it's really, really just a cool moment in that full of cool Beatles moments. Um, Last is Joe Colley's death in Midnight Mass. Joe is this character. He's kind of the town drunk. He's paralyzed a young girl within the community due to a drunken hunting accident, I guess. And he's trying to turn his dog has been poisoned by Bev, and um, he's just trying to turn his shit around. He joins this AA meeting that Father Paul has started in the town, and things are looking up for Joe. Um, and then Joe
It's
goes to
sober.
right. He goes to pay a visit to Father Paul late at night. He's having a tough time. Father Paul said if I could need someone to talk to, I can come to him. And Joe sees Father Paul, like catches him in a precarious moment of his own, and he's trying to like kind of get out. Like Father Paul doesn't want him to leave. He's embracing Joe, and he kind of smells the fear and the blood in Joe. And at this moment in the show, it's really where it's coming together. What is happening with Father Paul in this town? And Joe trying to escape, I believe, falls, breaks his fucking dome in the back open, and he's bleeding out. And Father Paul is not helping him, and the blood is just pooling up in this room. And next, it just cuts to fucking Father Paul slurping fucking Joe like a go-gurt, like a fucking jogurt, if you will. And he is
Oh,
just
God.
Yogurt.
the visual of this
Man, you are
thing
selling these, bro.
is like he's just like a baby bottle. He's sucking the shit out of Joe Colley's brains, and it was just like, okay, this show fucking kicks ass. I love this show.
Why'd you have to say Jogurt? Why'd you have to do it, Mike? Oh, that's so good.
And that's why my top 5 should be
The full top 5.
5. I love them all.
Oh,
So many great moments this year. We all had a lot of great moments. I don't know how we're gonna do this one.
this is gonna be a
it's
rough
hard.
one. This
Yeah.
is gonna be tough.
It is.
I have one suggestion. Since Kayla and I both said something from the Winter Falcon, I'm more than happy conceding with the Cap killing with his shield moment over mine.
You know, I had I had written down John Walker Smash in my long list.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a scene this year that I was thinking about quite a bit. I think when we saw it, I remember we kind of all like felt like that was a kind of just a
Yeah.
heavy ass moment in that show. A show of a couple heavy ass moments.
Yes.
So I wouldn't be against John Walker Smash. What did you think of that scene, Mike?
Those two scenes, which they're good. They're good moments from that show. Not really what I would say my favorite moments from the show were.
Okay. Well, we got lots of options. I'll go through our options again
lot.
to just refresh everyone. I think we were only doubled up on one. Kayla and I
Old.
both picked the old beach scene.
I was close to being a third on that, honest. So I
Okay.
think that's a
So I
solid
think-
one
I
to
think we
lock
can
in.
say
It's such a
old.
great
Yeah.
moment.
So we'll lock that one in. Cool. So we had the twist ending of Odd Taxi. If you remember, the animals were people. The end of Loki season 1, the big reveal of Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors.
It's fun.
Very good. Very, very good.
It's
The
very
car
good.
scene from Tokyo Revengers, the entirety of Witcher season 2, and then Vision's monologue on grief from WandaVision. The duel from The Last Duel. What were we arguing about? The old beach scene. The beach scene from Suicide Squad, the first big major action set piece. The dollhouse from Resident Evil Village. The elephant from It Takes Two. I Am a Revolutionary from Judas and the Black Messiah. Omni-Man versus Invincible from Invincible. Tie a Bow on Castlevania. Jackie Daytona Toothpick. Isaiah Black's Story. The Zabel episode. John Walker Smash, the end scene of Arcane, rescuing Rick Flag, introduction of the Green Knight, Andrew Garfield saves the day, the Squid Game Pocket Sand, Paul McCartney creates Get Back on video, Joe Colley's Jogurt death.
Joker.
It's rough, man. It's wild.
Very wild.
So
Hmm.
I.
If I had to throw my considerable weight behind something else on someone else's list, it didn't hit for me the way I think it hit for a lot of people, but I understand the Andrew Garfield saves the day, saving Zendaya in No Way Home. I get it. I definitely agree with Mike's take that like Andrew Garfield as a Spider-Man and as a Peter Parker in that movie was a highlight. Regardless of whether you like those movies that he was in or not, I think he
It's the best part
warmed
of the
my
movie.
heart. Yeah. So I wouldn't be sad if that made.
I'd like to see it on the list.
Pencil
Put it
that
on
one
the
in.
list.
Okay.
Do it. I love redemption.
All right. I'm fine with getting 4 out of my 5 on it.
Has anybody else seen The Green Knight?
No.
No, unfortunately
That's
not.
the tough part.
Yeah.
Probably watch it tonight though.
It's very good. It's very good. It's on my movie list, so like for sure.
Boom.
Nice.
Um,
It might end up on mine because of this.
we do have 2 Suicide Squad scenes on here: the initial beach scene and also the rescuing Rick Flag. Those were probably my 2 favorites, so I wouldn't be afraid of either.
On my short list was the bar scene in Suicide Squad, where
Where they're
I know I said
dancing.
it on the pod, like it's just where they're a fucking squad. They did it. Like they did what the first movie couldn't do. I care about these characters. Seeing fucking my boy Polka Dot Man just getting busy with everyone looking like his own mother. I don't know. It was like the calm before the storm, kind of moment. Like it's their last respite before the big mission, really, and where everything gets fucked up. That was my favorite scene in Suicide Squad.
Okay. So then if we got 3 different scenes there. Too. I Am a Revolutionary was talked about quite a bit on this very pod. I think the impressive moment. Yeah, I think the impressive thing about it, many impressive things, but like that was in the trailer a lot. And even though I had seen it at least in the trailer quite a bit, and you kind of like know what's going on from that there's going to be a powerful speech or whatever, it hit regardless for me. Like, kind of knowing what was coming almost in a sense. It didn't matter. It was just still like a really cool moment. So
it's an Oscar reel moment. Like you're going to be seeing that for decades. Like that moment, it won him the fucking trophy.
All right, we'll pencil that guy in as well.
I like it being on the 5.
Yes. All right, you guys can pick whatever you want. One of mine's on there. So
that's like 3 we kind of have. We've got the old beach scene. I Am a Revolutionary, and then Andrew Garfield saves the day. I think like kind of penciled in at this point.
Sounds
what else?
Good.
What else from anyone else?
Get behind Joe's death in Midnight Mass.
The Joker.
Man.
I can. It was definitely.
It was just so unexpected for like, I don't know, just to see him fucking bobbing for apples in this dude's fucking skull, man.
What are you talking about? Like that's classic early recovery, bro. I see that all the time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Newcomers getting their brains sucked out. I mean, it's just, it comes with the territory, bro.
Gotta clean out them chairs, man. Gotta get new ones.
I guess the only thing The only thing I could say about that was there's kind of another character kind of dies twice in that
Oh,
in
no.
that show, and to me both of his deaths were a little bit hit heavier. Like on my long list, I had put the rowboat as like the rowboat
Yeah.
scene in Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting the
Rowboat,
character's name right now, but he's basically spilling the beans on everything that's going on to the love of his life, and to prove that like, hey, there's some supernatural shit going on. We got some vampires and craziness. He just stays out in the sun to kind of prove, knowing full well what's going to happen. And yeah, and there's just a scene of horror for his love, and then the guy who had been pretty much the main character ish on the story perishes in flame. So pretty wild, and it's just pretty too, like because it's a sunrise and everything else on this like serene pond or whatever, lake, whatever.
I enjoy Father Paul more than I enjoy what's his name?
Yeah, I cannot think the main character's name. Maybe that's makes maybe that's why he wasn't one of the on our character list. I think Midnight Mass something from Midnight Mass should definitely make it. So I mean the only thing we officially had on the list
Jogurt.
was Jogurt.
Jogurt.
I mean, I'm completely fine with that pick. I mean,
I'm
Okay.
Joe Gert. You're Joe
On-
Meteor.
How many spots?
On my long list, just to put this out here, I did have 6 things listed in my moments. And one of them was like the not the ending of Castlevania, but like the ending battle in the castle with Alucard and the community that he had, and Dracula in his childhood bedroom. That part I really enjoyed. Just to put that out.
gotcha.
I mean, I got
That would
the
go with
entirety of
Tomas's.
Castlevania. So
Yeah.
Right. That's why I brought it up. Right.
one of my favorite scenes was when Alucard was fighting his father
Right.
in the second season. This
Kills father Dracula in bedroom.
Fucking Legion in season 3. Get the fuck out!
Yo, that was so cool. I was like,
Yes.
I'm like looking at the bodies. I
This
was
is
like,
happening.
yo, I knew it. I was like, oh my god. There's so
Yes.
many. That's why I love it. It's such a love letter to everything that I grew up loving about that series.
Man, good show.
What do we think about because Loki didn't make it for best characters?
I love that moment, man.
That end scene, is that everyone? So that's my favorite moment from Loki is the end with Kang and everything else. Is that across the board? Do you guys
It's got
like
a great fight. It's got a great monologue. It's got just a great like ending to it. Like
It's tense.
I
The
love
only other thing that sticks out to me, and it's by in its one specific category by how beautiful it is just the like them thinking that they're dying on Lamantis. Like just that setting, that one, if you could just still it right there, is beautiful. That's the only real. Well, I guess I really like the scene in Loki where Mobius does like a callback at like, you know where I'd like to be right now? If I could go anywhere in the timeline, I'd like to go to where I came from. That scene was fun.
yeah.
the glorious purpose scene, where old Loki just fucking has to use the last of his powers to help
Yeah.
is so good. Just that whole episode, President Loki showing up and that battle in the underground lair hideout, whatever, was really good.
Top notch.
Great
So we
moment.
have
That show's fucking great.
Yeah, it shows.
So good.
Solid.
So we could have a 5 that looks like this. The ending of Loki season 1. What were we arguing about from Old? I Am a Revolutionary from Judas and the Black Messiah. Andrew Garfield saves MJ from No Way Home. And Jogurt, Joe Collie, dying by the hands of Father Paul.
by the mouth of fucking.
It's a solid list. We would have 3 movies, 2 TV shows, no games again in this. If we,
I
went with
had
that.
a moment on my short list from a game, but I'm just gonna hold it to talk about when we have the game discussion. It's gonna
Okay.
hold on
What
to it.
was the fourth one? I have Old, No Way Home, Judas, Midnight Mass,
Loki?
No way. Loki,
Loki's
yeah,
ending.
Loki, yeah, Loki's ending.
Loki's ending.
I
Pretty
will say
diverse.
I don't know with some of the MCU stuff since Loki. I don't know how much that whole game changing thing is really
Yeah, you have to see the end of
playing
What If to
out.
understand it.
Well, so far I don't understand it at fucking all. Like I don't. They've
Right.
done a
I
very poor
don't.
job of
I
doing
don't
that.
agree with Loki. Nobody even had Loki's ending on their list.
Ryan did.
Oh, sorry, I didn't write Ryan's down.
Yeah. Ryan had it on his list, and I had it on my short list, and then I think, or long list, I should say, and then Mike had it on his long list as well.
I like it a lot. Just tough. So many tough moments. I really like that bridge fight scene in Arcane.
I
It's
would
so
be
fucking
into
good.
that.
It's
I
so
want
Oh,
to
the
talk about
bridge.
that.
like,
Okay.
I would almost trade Garfield for that
Hmm.
if I had to make a sacrifice.
I definitely cried. I shed a many tears during that scene.
So we're
The
saying
MJ scene.
So are we talking the very end or the bridge?
The from Arcane, the
Yeah.
fight between Echo and Jinx.
Oh,
duel,
gotcha.
That duel
Yeah.
is the one
Was
that I
that
would.
also the one you were going with, Kayla? I thought I
That's
maybe
the one that I picked.
misunderstood. Oh, gotcha. I misunderstood. Gotcha. I do like that a lot. I do like that bridge. Okay, so you said you would swap the Arcane bridge for Andrew Garfield, saving
I would.
MJ?
I would.
Okay.
And
It
keep
was his
Loki.
voice too.
But I don't know. We'll have the Spider-Man discussion. Maybe I don't know for movies and stuff. But to me, it's a very flawed film. It's my favorite moment of that movie. I'd rather reward Arcane, which is just very good all the way through. I think. I don't know.
And still keep Loki.
I would keep Loki as myself. I
could live with it.
I would trade one Marvel thing for something. And Marvel
Not
gets so
Marvel.
much love from us. Like,
It's true.
I don't know.
That's
Look.
true. And Mike's list would have 2 picks, so we can't really have that either.
True.
It would leave
Should have
us.
5. That's all I'm saying. Pocket Sand got fucking.
It would actually, if we stayed with the 5 we currently have, it would actually be one from each of our lists. So Ryan had the end of Loki. I had the old beach scene. Tomas was I Am a Revolutionary. Kayla was the bridge battle from Arcane, and then Jogurt was Mike. So it would represent everyone. It would represent a lot of different things we liked.
Great fucking list.
To be specific, you must say the last bridge scene, because the show starts with the bridge scene, which is also very moving, but it's
certainly
not the one.
It's
yeah.
Echo versus Jean, like just the.
Yeah.
Got it. Echo versus Jinx. I like it.
I like Go and No Way Home, because I also have problems with that movie.
Okay, I kind of dig it. So the naughty for best moments go to the end of Loki season 1. What were we arguing about from Old? I Am a Revolutionary from Judas and the Black Messiah. The bridge battle, Echo versus Jinx from Arcane. And Joe Colley's Jogurt Death from Midnight Mass. What a list. What a list.
I'm
Lots
proud
of
of
stuff.
us. I think we did it.
We did it. Nobody
The
killed each other.
Naughties. The first day of the Naughties The next episode of the Naughties will be the following 3 categories: Best Video Game, Best Movie, and Best TV Show. So it's going to be a very similar format. We're going to, all come with our top 5s, create a long list, and then get a consensus list. That will be our next episode. Had a lot of fun, guys. What are we feeling now that we're really talking 2021, the end of it, really wrapping it up in detail? Still a B+ for you, Mike?
I mean, just going off of like moments, it's A+. I could have had a top 15 maybe or something. Whereas like I struggled to find disappointments myself, really.
Yeah.
I think it was still really fun, like just a fun thing, but characters and moments was like, wow, there's so many good ones. Like there's just so many I left off, like didn't even really talk about, like the Zabel and Mare, like when they're sharing a beer from Mare of Easttown was so good, just to see like just drunk Zabel like just trying to shoot a shot with Mare was fun. There's Succession. It could have been 5 Succession moments for me. That the 3rd season of that show, I know it's tough because no one's really like kept up with it but me. Like, so I didn't really want to honor something like that. That it's kind of tougher to digest. But there are scenes from that, man, where the final episode alone is just chock full of them, and so good. The year is an A-.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that.
Took a little extra credit.
Kayla, did talking about the moments and the characters and everything kind of raise your grade? Or is it more than a B?
Well, let's give it a B+ because as you and I have discussed, even though I keep notes, Eric and I like strictly really tried not to talk about anything with each other, which is really hard for me. I'm definitely a very vocal thinker. I
Save
like
it for
to
the
think
pod.
things out loud. And we tried really hard not to discuss too much with each other.
Well, being professional, folks,
To
try
avoid
it sometime.
spoilers.
They
We
do
did
it for
not know
you.
lists for each other. I mean, obviously, at the times that we watched these things, we would have discussions, but going back and making the list was definitely mum's the word. But there were a lot of really good, like, making scenes, I think, was really hard for me. And we talked about this prior to recording. Like, going forward into the new year, I'm going to try to, like, put little notes next to because I keep a list of everything that we watch and we play, but now I'll put little notes to help me remember those scenes, because I struggled really hard just remembering certain things like that made me go, what the fuck?
There was a scene today, we watched Licorice Pizza this morning, and I didn't want recency bias to really come in, but there's a scene in that movie that, in the same way that I was holding my breath in the last duel, it did it for me in Licorice Pizza. There's a kind of a harrowing scene, but so I highly recommend that one. But I also wanted to point out the fight scene, the fall of House Atreides in Dune, was one of like the coolest moments in a movie with a lot of style and a lot of like really beautiful kind of cinematography and stuff. All of the choreography, all of the costuming, it's just a big old, fight and explosions and everything else. And Duncan Idaho gets, his due. It's a lot of fun.
His name is Duncan Idaho.
I had a thought of doing I can't even remember his name right now, but in Resident Evil 8, Heinsbringer or whatever he is, just so he would do the voice.
Oh, Duncan Idaho.
I was like, I'm gonna mention it just so we can hear that.
Oh, Heisenberg.
Have you met Duncan Idaho?
Oh, that's so good. I
Best
think
part.
that's a wonderful way, I think, to end day one of the Nonsense of the Year Awards. Today is New Year's Eve, so our next recording will be in 2022. We definitely want to wish everyone a happy new year. Thank you for giving us the first year of our podcast. Really, really awesome. Love all the fans. Love Monstars, our Facebook fan group. It's real heartening when we throw a poll up there and people respond, and and I see the listens and the downloads and everything else, and it's really cool. It makes it a real fun experience. So happy New Year. Anything anyone else wants to add to wrap 2021?
You forgot to mention the top 5 podcasts of the year.
Ooh.
Right. Dylon, Machine of
No.
Nonsense, Dylon, Machine of
Rewatchable.
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch this. Get it in there.
This crossover's got to happen. We gotta,
Oh,
It's got it.
gotta get Shay on
Listen.
here. Somebody.
Yeah.
oh my God.
We'll
We
call
love
you.
Nonsense and other
We'll be in
things. I love it.
It's been real fun. I've really enjoyed, like, Tomas, I'm sure you can relate because you talk about this all the time, how you've really been able to like use this to get in tap with everything that's going on media wise. It's been really thrilling to kind of do my best to stay on the ball to see some of this stuff and be able to have discussions about it. It's been fun.
Oh, it's the best homework.
Right,
anyone
like
could-
sorry,
Yeah.
I can't come over. We're watching this movie for the Machine Nonsense. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow, so I can't come out, guys.
It's been fun.
Love
It's
it.
been a fun excuse to get my girlfriend to watch things she normally wouldn't. So,
Now you guys
Did
got to
you
tackle It Takes Two.
Did you grade the year, Eric? Did you get away with not doing it again?
Oh,
don't
he
think
got
you
me,
did.
guys. He
Get the
got
fuck
me.
outta here.
I vaguely said it was like a B, so I'm gonna, stick to my laurels. All you guys are wishy-washy. You just change your grades here and there.
Says the person who didn't say a score in the beginning.
His laurels, those are his.
I
Yeah.
trust him. I sure do.
I think it's a solid B year. As you kind of have seen with our lists, video games unfortunately kind of took a backseat to a lot of other stuff, and hey, a lot of other stuff was great. But a lot of us are video gamers at heart, and a little bit
games.
of a lackluster year for games. So it's the only reason it's not an A. Solid B.
It's a real 2012, if you know.
oof, oof.
The real Shadow of Mordor.
Oh.
Oh, so that is day one of the Nonsense of the Year Awards. Thanks for listening. Join the discussion on Monstars, our Facebook fan group. Leave us a message at anchor.fm/machine of nonsense. You can hear your voice on this podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Drop us a line. Answer a poll. We'd love to hear from you. Tell a friend. Next episode is Best Video Games, Movies, and TV Shows. Hope you'll join us next time. We're getting out of here and saying goodbye.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everyone.